Hello, Westfield, and welcome to the Shamrock Sportscast, a weekly podcast hosted by Evan Cummings, Aiden McNally, and
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who live in your community, know you by name, and answer when you call. They keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
I want my kids to experience all the wonderful things our beautiful world has to offer. So when I heard they could learn about the butterfly life cycle up close and at home, I knew I had to check out Insect Lure's Butterfly Garden. This all-in-one kit lets your child hold the wonder of metamorphosis in the palm of their hand. Watch your butterflies grow, then let them go. Head to insectlure.com to try this unforgettable experience. That's insect, I-N-S-E-C-T, lore, L-O-R-E.com. Insectlure.com.
folks, we're back. Off of spring break, the Shamrock Sportscast is back for another episode, a very exciting episode, as we haven't really had the chance to sort of run through each of the spring sports, and today is going to be that day. We're going to go through each of the sports. We are going to talk about how everything's gone down so far this season, and just have some excitement with that. But before we get started, boys, you just kind of want to talk, like, how was your week off? How was spring break?
It was really good. Family and I took a trip down to Orange Beach, Alabama. That's always a good time. It's so secluded. I know there have been a couple of people that went to Gulf Shores and such, and even I saw members of the baseball team, Owen Swinford and Matt Droslick, down there in a Publix. But it was a really good time, just really relaxing. We didn't really do much of anything, just enjoyed the week off from everything from, photography and videography and the work and the hustle. And it was really nice, and we needed that to kind of prepare us for the last month and a half that we have.
Yeah, I just stayed home. Didn't go anywhere.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Went out to dinner with a couple of friends some nights, downtown Carmel.
W spot.
Yeah,
Yes.
ran that up a whole lot.
Which spots did you go eat?
So I think we grabbed some Ritas and then
Rita's is nice.
went down to the bocce ball, little bocce ball field they have. Played some bocce ball for a couple hours, for a couple nights. I got a lot better at bocce ball this spring break, I guess we'll say that. But yeah, it was really chill. I kind of liked staying home. It was just relaxing, and yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's the whole setup down there is hard to beat, and it's exciting to think about how Westfield can sort of, take after Carmel's example with downtown with the new renovation and how everything's going to go. Which we're not a politics podcast here at Westfield, but we could very easily dive into the mayoral debate. We're not going to do that, but yeah, mine was good. I went to Cancun with some of my friends, and we
there was like 30 people there.
Yeah, there was I think 21 of us.
Holy crap.
So it was a fun week. We it was a pretty quick trip, but definitely a much needed break after sort of a longer second and third end of second, start of third try. But definitely good, but ready to get back to it.
What was your favorite part about that trip?
Was there anything that was like eye-opening?
Was that your first time in Cancun?
Second time in Cancun. It's a great city, obviously. We didn't leave the resort. My favorite part was on the second to last day, Sam Bishop, Jameson Lutz, Luke Gear, and I, we signed up for this hydrotherapy, and it was insane. It went sauna, steam room, and then there was a variety of different massages that you got like in the pools. And man, it was
Sounds very relaxing.
It was euphoric, if I had to put a word on it. I think it was probably like very life changing. So
wow,
that was very fun.
Was it a 10 out of 10 experience?
Maybe higher.
Wow.
We're looking at the 11 out of 10 range.
Yeah, but it was fun. But glad to be back. Glad to get ready for some spring sports here.
Yeah.
Evan, so obviously you have very strong connections with the baseball team. So why don't we
Yes.
start with them?
All right, so they are 2-2 after the break. They have one game tonight versus Cathedral, 4-1 Cathedral versus 2-2 Westfield. I'll preview that game a little bit more. I don't know when this is being posted. Whenever Alan feels up to editing it, I guess. But we may or may not be able to tell you some reliable things going into this game. North Central was our first game of the year on the 27th of March. We won that 15-12. And straight off the bat, the runs were good. 8 in the second inning, which is really what you need out of a team with the pitching staff that we have. I don't want to say our pitching staff is unreliable, and I don't really think that's the right word for it, but we don't have as many prominent starters as we did last year. And so we're kind of just using arms as we need them, which is weird considering the fact that last year we had 3 confirmed starters, maybe 4, and we just took out of the pen the same guys. But then this year, Culp, certified starter. I think you could throw Seth Nana and Preston Tam into that too. But other than that, like, there's really not a whole lot of guys that could fit that starting role. So we just tell the guys, go as far as you can and then see what will happen from there. And that's kind of what happened in this North Central game. We had a 12-6 lead after the 3rd inning, and then we scored 3 in the 4th. So that was all of our 15 runs in the first 4 innings. The last 3, we let up 4. And so that was a little bit of a scare. But we won it 15-12 in 7 innings, even though that probably could have been ended in 5. And then the Franklin Central series happened the Wednesday and Thursday before break. Lost the first game in 11 innings, 3-2. That was just a pitcher's duel. We had Culp start, and then Owen Swinford came in for 4 pitches just to get out of an inning. And then we had Braden Hibbler for a little bit, who was our shortstop. And then we had Matt Drozlik try and finish the game, or we had Ian Wilson, then Matt Drozlik. So we used, what was that, 5-6 arms in that game. One that could have been over in the 7th inning, went to 11 innings, and yeah, we had a 2-0 lead after the first inning, did not score at all the rest of the game, and we allowed the final 3 runs in the 6th, 7th, and extra innings. So it was just a little disappointing in that nature, but we bounced back the following day with an 8-6 win, again in extras, and for the 3rd time this year, we allowed multiple runs after the 5th inning. We were up 4-1 in the 3rd, then they scored in the 5th, made it 4-2, and then we scored in the 6th to make it 5-2, and then they scored 3 runs in the bottom part of that inning, and we tied it up. No runs in the 7th. A pair of ones for either team in the 8th, and then we finally scored 2 runs in the 9th and won that game 8-6. In this second game, I want to give a big shout out to Ty Anderson. Started on the mound, gave up, I think it was 2 total runs, had 4 strikeouts, pitched 5 1/3 innings, and batted in 3 runs as well. He went 2 for 5 at the plate with some very crucial base running at the very end of the game in the 9th. So that was a great showing by Ty. He's going to be a fixture for the team this year and next year. And then over break, they went down to Tennessee. They were supposed to play 3 games, only played 1 because of weather. And now one game that they played was an 11-8 loss to Good Pasture Christian. Let's see here. The Good Pasture Christian obviously is one of the better teams in Tennessee. They started off with 8 runs in the first 2 innings. We tried to make a little comeback. They were up 9-0 in the 4th. We scored 3 in the 5th and then 4 in the 6th and even 1 in the 7th. It just was not enough, and we lost by 3 to them. And so now that leads us to this week. We're 2-2. We play Cathedral tonight, and then Thursday and Friday is the Brownsburg series. So we got 3 consecutive games. I believe tonight Seth Nana is starting, from what I've been told, and then just assuming by the pattern of events, Jacob Culp will start tomorrow night, and then Ty Anderson will start on Friday. But that's subject to change at this point. Tonight's game versus Cathedral is going to be really interesting. So obviously, record-wise, it does not come into our favor. And even stat-wise, it does not come into our favor. We're averaging around 8 runs a game, a little bit over. They're averaging 10. We do, on average, hit better than them. Our batting average, team-wise, and our total hits per game is better. Our on-base percentages are pretty similar. Slugging percentages pretty similar. Fielding percentages, we experience a little bit of a dip from them in the win-loss percentage. They're obviously at 800 right now, and we're at 500. So, I mean, if you just look at the stats, Cathedral edges us out just by a little bit, but that does not mean that this game is a complete write-off for them. We are a very talented team, and we can do some damage in this game and for the entirety of the season.
I will say this. Last year, we lost multiple D1 players, I think a couple maybe D2 players, and a pro. With how this team has stepped up this year, they're winning the games they're supposed to win. They're losing the games they're supposed to lose, except for the Franklin Central game. You can make a case for that. Tonight against Cathedral will be a real test, but I think so far, I think they're exceeding expectations. So it'll be excited to see not only how they do against Cathedral tonight, but also against Brownsburg Thursday and Friday, to see how they match up against conference opponents, because Franklin Central, you could make a case that they probably should have swept that. So it'll be fun to see what they'll be able to do in their second conference matchup against Brownsburg.
These next couple weeks for Westfield are crucial. Leading up until the next 2 full weeks, essentially leading up to prom night, we have Cathedral, who is one of the better teams in the state. I believe they are 10th in the state, something like that. I'm trying to remember. Carmel next Monday, 2nd in the state. Fisher Series next Thursday and Friday. They are 8th in the state. Newcastle next Saturday, which it'll be a good game. It's an away game. And then Monday, home versus Center Grove, the best team in the state. And then the 2 days before prom, the Thursday and Friday, the 27th and the 28th, the Noblesville Series. Noblesville, obviously one of our most hated rivals. It's always an interesting game. The tensions are boiling, and Noblesville is one of the best teams in the state. They're 6-1 right now.
Yeah.
So you look at these next couple weeks, and it's a true test of endurance, not just for the players, but for the coaching staff. We have to be consistent. We have to play some of our best ball. And even after this, HSE series early on in May, they're a good team. Even before that, Zionsville series, that's obviously a very tough team to play. There's not a whole lot of easy games on this schedule for Westfield, and so if they want to make a strong run in sectionals, we got to prove that we can, hang with the big dogs. And right now, we haven't had a whole lot of comforting wins. The North Central win and Franklin Central wins are good, but they weren't by a whole lot. They were a combined 5-run wins. So if we want to start making ourselves, sectional contenders like we were last year, we gotta start winning games like we did last year. We gotta, blow teams out. We gotta run rule them. We gotta show no mercy. And we can do that. We just have to be a little bit more disciplined, and we're set.
Couple names to watch here. One is the sophomore Caden Lindsay.
Yes.
We obviously know what his brother can do because he's been such a stalwart for this program over the past few years. But Caden has come in and, kind of in some big moments, he's been able to hit the ball really well. Obviously, right now he's batting .429, which is very solid. He's only had 7 plate appearances, but you would expect that to go up as, like I said, he is just a sophomore, and you build comfortability with more of those reps. Another name is Andrew Nicholson. He is been in the bullpen for this team, but he's come in. He's had, let's see here, 3 appearances so far in 4 games, and his ERA is just 1.31. Not giving up a lot of hits, not giving up a lot of runs, and he seems like a guy who's going to be reliable pretty much whenever they need someone to come in out of the bullpen. It's just a matter of, can they figure out the people in the bullpen beyond Andrew?
Yes.
If they can do that, then this pitching rotation and staff is going to be a lot better off.
Exactly. And one of the things I noticed about this team is they will even throw starters out of the bullpen. The reason why I said Seth Nana is kind of a certified starter is because he can start, but he also comes in relief. That second game versus Franklin Central, he pitched the last 2 innings, shutout innings, only allowed 1 hit, and had 3 or so Ks. So again, it's really arms whenever we need them. If you're ready, we will use you. And I want to touch base with Nicholson on that. He's gotten a lot better from last year. Last year, he was in kind of a stacked pitching rotation, so we didn't really know where he'd fall. He's not a velo guy. He's more of an accuracy and off-speed guy, but it is deadly. His curveball, if you come to a game and watch it, it's like a foot of vertical movement. It is insane. Really, we have a lot of underdogs and we have a lot of sleeper guys filling up the slots in the lineup, and we're just good. We're there. We have the sort of underground talent. We just gotta execute now at this point,
which I think is a very good possibility as they get into some of these tougher games. Once you get experience under the belt of some of these younger guys in the tougher games, then come later in the season, they're going to be very solid.
I agree, because we have a very stacked schedule the very first couple weeks of the season. If we can, get better, obviously these better teams are going to give us better improvements. By the time we face those mid-level teams, which honestly there are not many this year because of how stacked the competition is in Indiana baseball this year, but the tougher opponents we play earlier in the season, the easier the later the season we'll get.
Quickly, I want to just touch on softball, just real quick. Let me see here. We are 4-1 to start the season. Blew out Decatur Central. I think we've already talked about that just a little bit. And I think we already talked about the Carmel game as well. 20-5, 13-8 wins, 10-6 against Franklin Central, a good conference win. Suffered our first loss before break. Pendleton Heights away at Pendleton Heights. That was an 11-6 loss. But last night really impressed me. I was there at the game. I was, doing my little photography, videography thing. We won 10-0 run rule after the 6th inning. It was an Ava Cainrith 3-run bomb that ended it. So shout out to her. I'm still holding your ball hostage. Anyways, let's look at these stats here.
4 girls batting 500 or more.
Yes, that is
pretty good.
Actually insane. Like, what people forget to realize is that our softball team, even though we did lose a lot of firepower last year, we are very good this year, and we are just as good, if not better, than we are last year. And you can see that in the run differential. We've scored 59 runs. We've allowed 30. So almost a 2-to-1 ratio with runs scored and runs allowed. Last night, even though we didn't get a whole lot of hits, I don't know how many we got as a team. We had 6 total hits as a team last night, and then we won 10-0. That's because our plate discipline is so good. We draw walks like the plague, and we get on base, and that's first step to scoring is, you got to get on base to score unless you're Ava Cainrith and you just hit bombs. That was, I believe, her 4th or 5th home run of the year, which is absolutely nuts. So great win by the Lady Rocks softball team. They have a game tonight versus Greenfield Central.
What do we think about that one? Do you think Westfield's going to take it?
I do think we will take this one. Greenfield Central, although they are 4-2, I don't believe they are 4A. So,
yeah, I saw. So Westfield's ranked, I think, 26 in the state. Greenfield Central is, I think, 72nd.
Yes, 72nd. They're
yeah,
just behind Logansport, Jeffersonville.
So It'll be. It's not like we won't try.
Yeah,
It's still going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I think we should take this one comfortably.
Can we talk about Chloe Tanner?
I was about to say our ace Chloe Tanner last night. She did so well.
26 innings pitched through 5 games. ERA of 3.23. And this girl is a Shohei Ohtani type.
Yes.
She's batting 278 as well. That's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I don't watch much softball, so I could be wrong here, but the fact that she has 26 innings pitched and the next highest is 3.2 is pretty telling of how good she is.
Yes, she is 100% our ace. She's an everyday player, just kind of like you mentioned, Shohei Ohtani. Last night she went the full game, complete game shutout, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, and only 4 walks.
And softball only plays, what'd you say, 7 innings.
Same as baseball.
So 5 games, 26 innings pitched. I mean, that's just a touch over 3 or 4 total games. And
I do believe that they have had the run rule in, or they only had the run rule in once. They only played 6 innings against Decatur Central, but every other game they should have played.
Wow.
So they've been in the run rule 2 times. The other 2 out of the 3 were wins. Yeah, just so much talent on that team. It is incredible.
And the future is very bright too. A lot of young athletes on that team.
Exactly.
We're not graduating much this year at all.
No, we're graduating Maggie Rowe, who is effective, and Allie Dolans, who is also very, very good at the plate.
Yeah.
Boys, I hate to do this to you, but I have to leave for a dentist appointment.
Okay.
So
No worries.
I will be out. Everyone, stay breezy, go Rocks, and support your Westfield teams this week.
Evan, thank you for your time. We appreciate your wisdom with the baseball team and the softball team.
Yeah.
Make sure those whites are pearly, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Alrighty, let's move on here. Do you want to talk a little bit about golf?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I'll start us off here.
Yeah. I know you're a part of the golf team. Just run us through it.
Yeah. So, we've talked a little bit about the varsity roster so far this year. First varsity match is today, 3:30 at Prairie View. Should be a fun one. It's, on some of these weekday matches, they allow us to play like 6 to 8 guys rather than just the top 5. So tonight we have, obviously, Alex Caesar, number 1, Jake Caesar, number 2, Will Harvey, 3, Cam Coy, 4, Matt Scholl, 5, and then Caden Menler, who's really emerged. Yeah, he's playing 6. We have Jack Harris, the sophomore, playing 7, and then Ryan Caesar, the third of the Caesar brothers, playing 8. After last week, he medaled in 2 of the JV matches.
Wow.
So, yeah, it should be fun. It's definitely a big week for this team. We got today, and then there's another varsity match tomorrow, varsity green match, and then on Saturday we're sending 3 teams up across 2 different tournaments, and
wow.
One of them is up at Warsaw, and the boys have not lost there or not finished first there in, I want to say, 10 years now. So
wow,
a lot of pressure to repeat, but
yeah,
I think everyone's confident with that course, and it should be fun.
Yeah, I think they'll do it. Obviously tonight, hopefully they're going to be victorious, but I think they will. 3 of the Caesar brothers in one lineup, hard to beat. Obviously, the emerging star, Will Harvey. And then you also have, like, the veterans, like Scholl and Caden Menler. So it's going to be a fun one. This is the first match of the season, right?
First varsity, yep.
Wow. So, yeah, it'll be fun to see what they'll do, because they'll probably ride, if they win, they'll probably ride that victory to another victory and then ride that victory to another victory. I think the golf team looks very successful this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype surrounding this program from within the program, but as well as more, I don't want to say nationally, but like state people have said that this team's going to be good, and I think that it's going to be a very fun journey. And as long as we can continue to work as hard as we do every single year and every single off season, then we're going to be, we're going to be competing every single week, which is going to be fun. I think what's also fun about these weekday matches, especially one today, So we go head to head with HSE and Carmel. Those are two teams that we sort of know what to expect with them.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, we've played against their guys year in and year out. But it's always fun to sort of see where those other teams are at the start of the year, in the same way that we want to see where our team's at the start of the year.
Absolutely.
So, like HSE should be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the state because, they have a kid named Cole Starnes who is a junior, and he's an absolute stud. He's played in national USAM type tournaments throughout his lifetime.
Wow. Is he getting recruited at all? Probably, right?
He is. I couldn't tell you where off the top of my head, but obviously a very highly rated guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Why don't we carry that on into some boys volleyball?
Absolutely. I was already on that page.
Perfect.
7-2 to start off the year. Their 2 losses are HCC opponents, HSE, Fishers, both 3-1 losses. A lot of positives. They're on a 2-game win streak against North Central and Garin, who are 2 pretty good teams. And then they have Carmel tonight. 6-4 Carmel at home. So they're renovating the main gym right now. So I don't know where that'll be held. I know last year, since it was a club sport last year, they had their games at the middle school. So I'm assuming that would probably be a top spot to play their games at. But 6-4 Carmel travels to 7-2 Westfield. Gosh, this roster is stacked.
Loaded.
Brody McAfee, Will Byers, Zach Geisinger. The depth is off the charts. The potential that this team has is off the charts. I would say the ceiling for this team, if they get hot, they might go to state. Although they don't have the best conference record, there are still many teams to turn that around with. And those are the 2 toughest teams in the conference. So I still think they can turn it around and make that a 6-2 conference record. So yeah, it'll be fun to see because they still haven't hit their mid-season peak yet. Their mid-season fire. They're not hot yet, and the fact that they're 7-2, gosh, can't wait to see what this team does.
Yeah, and we kind of knew it growing up with a bunch of these guys. It was always like, man, if Westfield can find a way to start a men's volleyball team, then we're going to be pretty good. You know, with the likes of McAfee, like the likes of Fulp, Brent Stone, Will Byers, like those are all just athletic kids who have always been so good at this sport.
Yeah.
And like you said, bringing club volleyball last year allowed them to get a year of practice, if you will, before they got to this stage where, they're competing at an IHSAA level. And like you said, the record speaks for itself, 7-2, and there's so much work left to do because this team does still have some younger guys too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to watch the rest of the season. Some of the other sports are just now starting to get going, so we're going to wait a little bit to talk about them. But one of the most chaotic years of all time in our favorite sport, college basketball. Aiden, I want to hear sort of your thoughts on how everything played out in this year's tournament.
First off, I just want to say we need to stop underrating UConn. 3 national championships in the last decade. That is more than all the Blue Bloods. They are a special organization, and the fact that they have players returning, players recruited. I mean, I think they have a top 10 recruit, 5-star coming in. I forget his name, but UConn, what a season. Started out, 8-0, 9-0? They're the first seed.
15-0.
15-0.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know it was that much.
Wait. Yeah, I think so.
Wow. They were the first seed, or I guess number 1 ranked team in the country for, I think, almost the first month of college basketball. And then Purdue kind of took that over. But started off hot, lost so many games straight in the middle of the season, won so many to get back up there, claim their spot as a 4 seed when they were projected to be a 1 or 2 seed with how they started off the season. Come in and they get hot at the right time, looking like how they were the first month of college basketball. I would say, though, their road to the championship wasn't difficult. And you could say that a lot of other teams got unlucky in their losses that would have had the ceiling to win the national championship. I'm not saying this was a fluke for UConn, but San Diego State in the national championship might be a given. But props to UConn. Such a fun year this year. So many upsets. Obviously, we have FDU, Princeton, and yeah, UConn. They're back.
They are, and it's rare to see such a dominant tournament run.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up right now, but what was the closest game? Like 12 points?
Iona, I believe.
So Iona was tied. They were tied at half, won by 24.
Yeah.
St. Mary's second round, won by 15. Arkansas in the Sweet 16, 23-point win. Gonzaga in the Elite Eight. Gonzaga
That was a fun game.
by 28. Beat Miami by 13. Ooh, that was tight. And San Diego State in the championship by 17. They didn't allow, like, the most points they allowed in the tournament was 65.
Like, that's
It's
ridiculous.
so
And
good.
the fact that their least, like, how do I say this? The fact that the game that they won by the least amount is 13. This is probably the most dominant run we've seen in the last decade from any team. We've seen last year Kansas, who won the national championship. They almost lost multiple games. Their Final Four game was kind of dominant. They almost lost the national championship to 8th seed UNC, but they remembered how to play basketball in the second half. Year before that, was that Baylor the year before that? Or, yeah. 2021, coming off COVID, no crowd. I'm not saying it was a Mickey Mouse ring, but
Baylor was dominant.
they were.
They were dominant.
And they're another team that you could probably put up there with UConn in dominant runs,
Mm-hmm.
especially winning over Gonzaga.
By more than almost 20 points.
Absolutely. Who I don't think they had Chet at the time. I think maybe Chet was the year after that because Chet was a one and done. Yeah. But yeah, this UConn team, I would consider them a blue blood now. We need to look back at the decade they've had.
Yeah. 5 championships in the last 25 years is pretty uncanny.
Yeah.
And like you said, 3 in the last 12. I mean, we're looking at like a championship every 4 years.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it though because they've
No.
been so mediocre in between. It's either really good or really bad.
Ever since little Kemba Walker, they haven't really had much talent.
Yeah.
And then you recruit Sonogo.
Yeah.
You recruit Jackson. You look at their recruits, they go for pure sneaky athleticism. And that's what got them to where they were now.
The reason to have hope that they can continue to have this success going forward is the fact that they have found their head coach.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, Kevin Ollie won them the national championship in 2014, but you never really felt like he was the definite answer. But we've seen success already for 3 years now with Danny Hurley, and
Yep.
you know, there's no reason to think that that's gonna fall off. And this team and the rest of the Big East next year is gonna be ridiculous.
Oh
It's
my
hard
gosh.
it's hard to picture.
Creighton, Villanova,
Marquette. Marquette's
yeah.
probably the second best team in the country behind UConn. Two
Yeah.
teams in the Big East.
Yeah. Marquette, and their run ended, unfortunately. They couldn't hit anything that game. But would you consider, considering Big East, 2 top teams in the country are in the Big East, would you consider the Big East the basketball conference? over the SEC. The Big Ten is probably close to them.
Big 12 too.
Big 12.
Big 12.
Kansas State, Texas, Oregon.
Hard to lose sight of the fact that the Big 12 had won the 2 previous national championships.
Yeah.
But we've seen the Big East success with Villanova. Now we've seen it with UConn. You know, let's just say there's a reason that the Big East only plays basketball. They don't play football at that high level.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would say that's what's so fun about having a Big East, Big 12 challenge every year that they do.
Yeah.
Is you get to see the top 2 conferences go head to head. And I'd say the history books would indicate that those are the top 2.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to pick one, though.
Yeah. Gosh, next year's going to be fun for college basketball. I wish we could just fast forward to it.
It's going to be fun. And think about it. Ball State's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
With Micah Lewis and everything he's done up there.
Yeah.
Tennessee's going to be pretty good. I mean, we watch college basketball a lot here, but think about what watching college basketball is going to be like when you're in college.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be so fun. And while we're on it, I know we're losing some time here, but Sam, you and I are both IU fans, IU basketball fans. Probably the majority of the listeners probably are. We lose Trace. We lose Tamar Bates. Tamar Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We lose Jalen Hood-Schifino to the draft, but we bring in 5-star recruit Khalil Ware. We bring in 4-star recruit Gabe Cupps. What do we think the Hoosiers are doing next year?
That's a great question. You know, the fact of the matter is that Khalil Ware is sort of the perfect complement alongside Malik Renew.
Yeah.
Renew on offense, back to the basket, gonna pound you, hit tough shots in the paint.
Yeah.
Where he can step out and he can hit shots.
Threes,
He's also a face-up guy who's going to take more of the mid-range shot. So when you free the lane and give Renew the opportunity to cook in the paint, whereas last year when Renew was playing the 4, it was him and Trace in the paint.
Yeah.
Clogged so much stuff up.
Yeah.
So offensively, going to be awesome. Defensively, that's another story. Just because Ware is such a shot blocker.
Yeah.
And he's going to need to be down low.
In the paint, yeah.
Whereas Renew, we've seen it in the past, he can't really guard the 4s.
The 4, yeah.
So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to watch, but I think Renew is the ability to step up and average 18, 19 points a game next year. And I think this team should continue to contend in the conference, even if it's not at the same level we saw this year.
Yeah. And it'll be fun to see some of the guys who didn't get playing time last year step in and play a little role. We still don't know the verdict on if CJ Gunn is going to transfer, but as of right now, I think he'll stay. Don't really know. I think Gabe Cupps will probably get some playing time, maybe start, because that guard position, that backcourt is so weak for the Hoosiers right now, especially losing Hood-Schifino. But it's gonna be an interesting one. We still don't know if Purdue-wise, we still don't know what Zach Edey's going to do. He's taken a while to make that decision, but it's a decision that you're going to have to take some time to make, and everybody understands that. But if Zach Edey moves on to the league, we have a new 7-foot monster in town in Khalil Ware coming to Indiana.
Man.
All right.
It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Well, everyone, thank you all for listening. We hope that you have been revitalized with some of the spring sports and took some good information out of this. And
I feel like it's been a while since we've recorded one of these.
Yeah, absolutely. We took a week off before, but I think it was good to be back and good to continue to talk about it. So thank you all for listening. We hope you have a great weekend, and we'll be back with you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Experience the butterfly life cycle with Insect Lure's Butterfly Garden. This all-in-one kit lets your child hold the wonder of metamorphosis in the palm of their hand. Head to insectlure.com to try this unforgettable experience. insectlure.com
His best start of the year. Italian.
Now, Evan, I want to take a quick moment to talk about the pitching matchup. Colin Lindsay is pitching tonight for Westfield, and he has not made an appearance all year behind the mound. But Ty Anderson is expected to come in around the second or third inning, depending on Lindsay's performance. But Anderson currently has a 5.83 ERA on the season, but his slider is absolutely filthy, so watch out for that. Mason Tibbs is on the mound for Brownsburg, and he has not given up an earned run all season, just 2 appearances. But he didn't go too far in his only start this season, 4 innings, but he did strike out 7. This matchup has potential to be a great one, so let's sit back and enjoy the ride.
A heated conference matchup is coming up. First pitch will be in a couple of minutes after a short break. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. All right, we are back here from Westfield, Indiana. First pitch is a few minutes away, just a few short minutes, folks. But let's go through the starting lineups for Westfield, the batting order and their positions. I'll go 1 through 5, and Roan will
Yeah.
go 6 through 9. So, batting first and pitching is Colin Lindsay. Now, to you, the casual viewer at home, you might not know this, but Colin Lindsay is a catcher. He is pitching tonight. That is going to be a very interesting thing to watch. We will walk you through his first pitching appearance of the season tonight. Batting second, Braden Habler, the shortstop. He sustained an injury on Wednesday versus Cathedral that sidelined him for the rest of the game, but he was back in action last night and didn't have the best day at the plate, 0 for 4 with 3 walks, but they were productive. He got on base a heck of a lot. Batting third and playing first base, Matt Drozlik. He's the tank. He's a multi-sport athlete. You know he will do some damage at the plate, and he drew a couple walks last night himself. Batting fourth in right field, Evan Russ, senior, one of his final games at home as a Westfield Shamrock. He was the best player at the plate last night, going 2 for 4. And batting fifth, the catcher, Nick Alm, number 24. We know he's Mr. Consistency whenever he comes up to bat, so we will see what kind of damage he can do.
Now, batting sixth is Alex Rudolph, the DH, and he's looking to bounce back after the last game. He did not get a single hit against Brownsburg, so he is looking to bounce back tonight. Batting seventh is Ty Anderson at second base, but he will be coming in as a relief pitcher, so expect Tyler Gentry to come in for him in that spot. And Tyler Gentry, the walk-off hero from the other night. Ian Wilson batting eighth. Ian Wilson, he went to the Cathedral game without getting a single hit all season. He ended up getting 2 hits that night, and he was very crucial in the win that night. And batting ninth is Eli Manbeck, who had a stolen base last night.
All right, first pitch is just about set. Leading off for Brownsburg, Caden Daughtry.
Caden Daughtry went 0 for 3 last night against Westfield. Let's see what he can do tonight against Lindsay.
First pitch from Lindsay.
And they are going to call that a ball.
Just a little bit outside and low. We have not seen Colin Lindsay pitch, so we will see what he can do. 1-0 from Lindsay, just low again.
He's so far, obviously, only 2 pitches in. He is having a hard time finding the zone. Let's see what he can do here on the third pitch.
And it's still early to tell, but you can obviously tell when a pitcher's struggling. The 2-0, right down the pipe.
That was
2-seam
absolutely
fastball.
beautiful.
That was gorgeous from Colin Lindsay. 2-1 is the count. 2-1. Swung on and fouled. Actually, it's a fly ball going into foul territory.
Ooh,
Nearly caught by Ty Anderson, but
that was a
just
good
crossed
effort.
foul.
That was
It was
a really
very
good effort.
So the first piece of contact on Colin Lindsay tonight, it will be a 2-2 count.
Now, you were talking about it earlier. Colin Lindsay has not pitched all season. We have no idea what to expect from him. We don't even know what pitches he is going to throw, but he did go to that 2-seam fastball earlier. Let's see what he'll do here.
2-2 from Lindsay. Grounded softly to the first base side, fielded by Drozlik. Over to Lindsay on the bag.
That was beautiful fielding from Drozlik. Great high IQ play. Lindsay getting to the bag on first to get the first out of the evening.
Great routine play there by the Westfield defense to get him started. And now, number 1, Nathan Welsh up to bat in the 2-hole.
Nathan Welsh went 0 for 4 last night against Westfield. Now, to be fair, I don't think any of those Brownsburg hitters, except for a few, had a good night against Westfield last night.
Nathan Welsh fouls this one off. It'll be 0-1. Westfield is very good whenever they get the first few batters out. Even the first 2, and they let up a hit, they're still way more likely to have success as the 0-1 is swung on and fouled off.
Now, with Lindsay, so far there have been a lot of contact on foul balls so far, and then of course the ground out earlier. Let's see if he could possibly give up a big hit here. I would not be surprised, especially with Walsh batting .273.
The 0-2 from Lindsay. Off speed outside. That was the first time we've seen a curveball this evening from Mr. Lindsay. Just missed outside. Just missed outside and a little high. The 0-2.
That one was way outside.
Just out in and out of Nick Alm's glove, high and outside, as it'll be the second ball.
2-2 pitch coming.
Delivery from Lindsay. Fouled off.
Once again, more contact being drawn. Let's see if these Brownsburg hitters could make Lindsay pay.
Seeing a lot of contact here, as you just said. I feel like Colin Lindsay, for the first couple innings, will be a pitch to contact hitter and just kind of let the defense rally behind him and do a job.
Yeah, I don't see him being the type of guy that will give you, 6, 7 strikeouts.
Grounded right up the middle. Hibbler's got it. The throw in time.
That was great fielding by Hibbler, making a great heads-up play. He has had a couple of errors this season, but still, that was a great play.
He's a very reliable shortstop whenever you need him at the plate and in the field. A great play there. A great timely play as that'll bring the second out and Coulter Hamilton to the plate.
Coulter Hamilton, this guy batting .462. That is something to watch out for. And he also has a home run, too.
As Lindsay just misses low and outside for ball one. Another low pitch and an off speed from Lindsay as it'll be 2-0.
Hamilton went 0 for 3 in the last game against Westfield, so that is something to look out for.
Looking for his first hit of the series here. High, not necessarily outside, but a high pitch, and that'll be ball 3, so 3-0 count. Colin Lindsay, we haven't really seen him.
He has a lot of ground to make up here so far in this at bat.
See how Young Gun faces adversity.
And he will walk him, yeah.
Ball 4. You could have argued that was a strike. It might have caught the edge of the plate a little bit, but
kind of like the umpire in the Cathedral game.
Yeah.
Not very generous. The strike zone very tight.
But in that game, he called everything low.
Yeah.
And especially last night with some of the same crew, they called everything low.
Colin McNear, this guy is somebody to talk about. He only had one plate appearance last season, and now here he is on the season batting .438 with 2 home runs. What a story for him. And that one's going to be outside in the dirt.
So Lindsay's struggling to find the zone here early on, especially in the first couple pitches of each at bat.
I think the whole idea of having him come in to start the game was to give Ty Anderson some time, especially give him an at-bat or two, and give him some time to come in to go with a long relief appearance.
As that one just misses low and outside. You could tell Nick Alm wanted that one as it's 3-0 now.
Now, to mention with McNear, 2 hits in the last game against Westfield.
That's called strike.
He kind of he was starting to check his swing a bit there, too.
He was. Just a little bit. 3-1 count now for McNear. 3-1. Swung on and fouled into foul territory. Drostick says he's got it, and he does. So the Rocks get out of the first inning unscathed after a walk. It is 0-0. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Middle of the first inning here from Westfield, Indiana. Currently, Rocks 0, Brownsburg 0. On the bump tonight for the Brownsburg Bulldogs is Mr. Tibbs, Mr. Mason Tibbs.
Mason
You
Tibbs.
want to tell us a little bit about Mason Tibbs?
Mason Tibbs so far on the season, 0 ERA. He did have one start this season, and he only went for 4 innings, but he did strike out 7. He also had a relief appearance where he went for 2 innings, and he did not give up a run there. But coming at first at bat is Colin Lindsay, who is pitching tonight. So kind of like a Shohei Ohtani type of situation, being the starting pitcher and leading off.
Just a little bit, but really, you can't compare anyone to Shohei Ohtani with that type of level. I see what you're going for, just kind of a player comparison. But yeah, Colin Lindsay, who's dangerous at the plate usually, but this year has been a little bit underwhelming. He's been in a little bit of a slump recently. He went 1 for 5 last night. So we'll see how he starts out the game today.
Last season against Brownsburg, he did hit a home run in a 16-7 win at Brownsburg last season. So let's see if he can do it again tonight. Lindsay had an RBI double last night against Brownsburg, but he did go 1 for 5, so that's something to note.
Tibbs' first offering to Lindsay. Inside, right down the middle, and you could tell Colin Lindsay wanted that one.
Oh, definitely.
Expect to swing just a little bit, but
just
he
a little
wanted
bit.
it. The 0-1. Low pitch, could have been called a strike.
Yeah,
but
I think that was
not.
kind of on the edge, but like I mentioned earlier, that umpire, not too generous, kind of like the one from the other night.
The 1-1 to Lindsay. Swung on into shallow right field as it'll be caught for the first out of the bottom half of the inning.
Now coming up to bat is Braden Hibbler. Now on Wednesday, Braden Hibbler was injured and he claimed he could not see out of his left eye. And he did play yesterday in the game against Brownsburg. But in that game, he went 0 for 4, but he did have 3 walks. So that is something to look out for again.
The Rocks brought out the cream uniforms tonight. First time all year that they're rocking the creams. Actually, I think they might have rocked them in Tennessee, but first time at home. First pitch to Braden Hibbler is just a little bit high, and that'll be 1-0.
Those cream uniforms, I mean, are these their best uniforms? I think they are.
These are the All Blacks.
I can definitely agree on that.
The 1-0 from Tibbs. Nearly hits Braden Hibbler, just so far inside. Fastball, it's 2-0.
Yeah, that was very close to hitting Hibbler. Very fast pitch. That would not have been good. 2-0 count.
Tibbs delivers. Swung on and fouled. It'll be 2-1.
Even count. I think Tibbs, well, I expect from him maybe some off speed. Let's see what happens, though.
Hibbler batting .316 on the year. Let's see if he can improve that here on the 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up, and out. It'll be 2-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the first. Tied 0-0.
The question is, on this at-bat, this is the second time Hibbler has fouled one off. Can he make Tibbs pay and get a base hit?
Braden Hibbler's thinking, that left center gap looks really good right about now.
Oh, yeah, the way it's shifted, for sure.
The 2-2. Outside, ball 3.
Now, here we are, 3-2 count, even count. I think Tibbs, he goes back to the fastball.
We'll see. The delivery from Tibbs, fastball, and fouled off.
Once
again,
again,
he would go off speed because Braden Hibbler historically is not the best off speed hitter. I mean, you look at a lot of these guys on the Westfield team, and you don't find a whole lot of them that are really good at hitting off speed, especially on a 3-2 count.
Yeah, 3-2 count, he's going to swing. That would be a good idea.
Payoff pitch. High and a walk. Braden Hibbler draws another walk. Last night, he had 3 walks. He went 0 for 4 because he was walked 3 times, and now he's standing on first.
Oh. Matt Drozlik is coming up to bat. And Matt Drozlik, like we said earlier in the broadcast, is an absolute tank, an RBI machine. 9 RBIs on the season as he will foul that one off.
Just barely, too. That's scattered by the bag on the left side, on the third base side. So it'll be 0-1 to Drozlik.
Now, Drozlik, he went 1 for 4 last night with an RBI. That gave him his 9th RBI on the season. I believe he leads the team in RBIs.
He does with 10. Batting .333 on the season. Pickoff. On time.
We saw in the Cathedral game that pickoff throw for Westfield was very beneficial. They got the pickoff runner out 2 times in that game, I believe.
Hibbler goes. The throw. Not in time. Hibbler gets the bag.
I could definitely agree with that call. It was closer than what people might think, but still, Hibbler gets to second base.
Great job by Brayden Hibbler there to get a free 90, as the Westfield dugout likes to chirp and yell during games. Hibbler on second. Drozlik up to bat. The 1-1 coming from Tibbs. Here's the pitch. Just low, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, that was just outside, just a little bit too low. And that umpire, yet again, being not generous at all.
You see a common theme in high school umpires, which is the strike zone tends to be really tight.
Yeah, looking like Angel Hernandez.
2-1. Swung on, shallow hit into center field. Second baseman has it. Hibbler tags up and then quickly scampers back to second base. So the second out.
And Hibbler looked like he was trying to go for third base. I have no idea what he was thinking, but luckily he stays at second.
Maybe he wanted to deke him a little bit, maybe force an overthrow to third and actually get to the bag.
I wouldn't overthink it like that, but
it's definitely a possibility to high school baseball.
It's a possibility, but
up now, Russ, who's had a pretty good year, 409, 536 OBP to start the year.
In the last game, Evan Russ, he was absolutely incredible. 2 for 4 with an RBI and a double.
First offering from Tibbs. Swung on and missed.
He wanted all of that.
He did. That was his home run pitch right there. He was just he swung a little bit too high for that fastball.
Oh, 0-1 pitch coming for Tibbs.
Hibbler with a pretty big lead from second. The offering outside. Good eye by Evan Russ. That slider just dove off the plate last second.
Yeah, definitely a lot of movement on that pitch. I thought that was going to be inside, but at the very last second went off speed.
As Evan Russ calls time. He's known for doing that. It's his play whenever he's up to bat. And we see a lot of guys on this Westfield team use mental tactics like that to just call time in the middle of an at-bat, say, yeah, this is my at-bat.
536 on base percentage for Evan Russ. So
now Tibbs steps off. See some mind games going on here between the batter and the pitcher.
That's classic baseball for you.
Here's the 1-1. Russ wanted that, but it was low.
He thought about swinging at that, but luckily he did not go all the way. That will be a ball.
2-1, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning. Evan Russ stands ready. The 2-1.
He was thinking about it. Tibbs was thinking about going to the pickoff throw on Hibbler, but Hibbler luckily makes it back to the bag on time.
And no one was covering the bag, so it would have been a terrible throw either way.
Yeah.
That bat's gone on for, I'd say, 3 minutes. Here's the 2-1. Nearly hits him, and it's out inside, and it's 3-1.
With Hibbler, you can say whatever you want about his base running and his IQ on that, but you have to admit he is very fast, and if Russ can get a base hit, that would be huge.
Absolutely. The 3-1. Good movement on that pitch, and it's right in the zone, so it'll be a full count. 2 outs, man on second, runner in scoring position. You don't want to leave any ducks on the pond in this scenario.
3-2 pitch. I'm thinking two-seam fastball, but
something to get him to swing.
Yeah, something to get him to swing, as we saw earlier in the at-bat.
3-2. Cummings. Wow, Cummings. Russ pops it up caught by Tibbs, end of the first inning. So both teams get out of the inning unscathed. They left one runner on base, respectively, and the second inning will be here after a short break. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. Oh, so we only went one inning. All right, cool. No, you're good. You're good. No. You're chilling. All right, whenever you want to go back, Alan.
Wyatt Elliott's going to be at bat for Brownsburg.
We are back here from Westfield, Indiana, and we have a new face on the bump already. Just Colin Lindsay wanted to get out there for one inning and see what he can do. He has an ERA of 0 so far this season, so a great first appearance for Colin Lindsay, even though it was just for one inning. Ty Anderson now on the mound.
I think that was a great decision by Bunnell to put Ty Anderson in there this early because the command was not there for Lindsay. It could have gotten ugly really quick, so to get Anderson in here is great.
Anderson boasting an ERA that is pretty good, and then he has a 5.83 ERA. Last appearance he had was 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, and 1 K. That was against Good Pasture Christian a short week
bounce
ago.
back.
So as warm-ups conclude here to start the second inning, we will see up to bat Wyatt Elliott, number 4.
Now, Wyatt Elliott this season batting .357. He had 1 RBI. In the game against Westfield, though, he went 2 for 3. So he was one of the few hitters that actually was able to have a good outing against Culp.
Here is Ty Hebler. Wow, Ty Hebler. I'm losing my mind. Ty Henderson and Braden Hebler share fist bump. They're best friends on the diamond. Let's see here. First pitch from Ty Anderson's outing. It'll be swung on, hit right to Ty Gentry playing second base, and caught by Matt Drozic for an easy first out.
Great start to the inning. Keep the pitch count low, and currently on pace for a 1-2-3.
Nice little inning started here for Ty Anderson. Is
Jack Tenacious Regatius is at bat, batting he is lefty.
first pitch from Anderson swung on, hit into left field, high and deep, and it is down. Regatius rounding, going to second, and he'll stop there.
Like I said, Tenacious Regatius only batting 133 on the year so far, but expect that to go up after that hit.
Does a little dance on second base as Ty Anderson lets up his first hit of the night.
Alec Murphy is at bat for Brownsburg, and he's batting only 200 on the year so far. Murphy went 1 for 2. He had 3 plate appearances last night. He went 1 for 2 last night.
Anderson's first offering to Murphy. They'll call that a strike.
Murphy thought about it. I could tell Murphy was thinking about swinging at that pitch. But 0-1 count.
That was a nice off speed to Murphy there, just low and outside, but perfectly placed on the edge of the zone. Here's the 0-1. Low and outside.
Wild pitch.
Wild pitch as Regatius will move to third. So already Anderson looking to be in a little bit of trouble here with Regatius standing on third.
And you know Regatius, he was thinking about third the entire time, and Anderson knew that. He was constantly looking behind him to see what Regatius was going to do, and now a man on third, only 1 out. This is not good.
Anderson, although he is a very good pitcher, we don't know how he does under stress. He hasn't been under a lot of stress so far this year. So after the wild pitch, it's a 1-1 count. to Murphy.
I think on this pitch, you go to what's worked all year for him, that nasty slider.
Here's the pitch. Two-seam fastball right down the middle. That's a strike.
He needed that. That was an absolute beauty from Ty Anderson.
So Ty Anderson's already let up a hit, but no runs quite yet. The infield is in for Anderson. Here's the 1-2. Just a little bit high.
2-2 count. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, that slider seems quite tempting, but still the two-seam fastball getting in the strike zone on the last strike. Let's see what he'll do here.
It's a 2-2. Swung on, hit to third. Ian Wilson makes an error, as that'll be a base hit.
Ian Wilson, in the last home game against Cathedral, he made a lot of great defensive plays, but right there, in and out of his glove.
Now, I want to focus some attention as Brownsburg takes the 1-0 lead to a player on the bench, Ben Wasserstrom. We might see him make an appearance if Ian Wilson makes another defensive error. He was called up from the JV team after Wednesday due to Braden Hibbler's little injury. We didn't know if he was going to be able to play.
Jake Hoover is batting 200 on the year so far, and he went 0 for 1.
The pickoff move, not in time, as Murphy will be still safe at first.
Now, luckily for Ty Anderson, and hopefully this quote doesn't come back to bite him, I'm liking the bottom of this order for him. I think he could get some quick outs.
As this one is going to be grounded up the middle. Braden Hibbler steps on second. The double play. In time!
Perfect. Just what Ty Anderson needed to keep going in this game a bit longer. This is perfect for him.
So gave up a run, gave up 2 hits, but the strong part of the batting order coming up for the Westfield Shamrocks here in the middle of the second inning. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Back from Shamrock Field, it is Brownsburg 1, Westfield 0 here, entering the bottom of the second inning. Nicholas Alm will be up to bat. The order 5, 6, 7, Alm, Rudolph, and then Tyler Gentry. Anderson came in to pitch. The second inning gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run. So
I will tell you though, this 5, 6, 7 for Westfield is very underrated. He can get a big hit in the big moments. Alex Rudolph, despite him struggling the past couple of games, I think he has a great mind for the strike zone, and he will eventually figure it out. And then batting 7th, it was going to be Ty Anderson, but now it's going to be the walk-off hero from the Cathedral game, Ty Gentry.
5, 6, 7 coming up in this inning as play will start with Nick Alm batting .316 with 4 RBIs on the year. Last night versus Brownsburg, he went, let's check here, 1 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. Let's see how this goes. The first pitch from Tibbs will be right down the middle and a strike.
And that was a fastball from Tibbs. That was a great, beautiful-looking pitch.
Here's the 0-1 from Tibbs. Just outside, it'll be ball 1.
Now, something to note with Alm, batting .316 on the year with 4 RBIs. Obviously, nobody on base yet, but when needed in that situation, he can be crucial.
1-1. Checked it, but he left it. 2-1.
Good call by the umpire. I did not think he went all the way. He really didn't even go halfway. He went a quarter of the way. Now an even count.
First batter up in this inning, the 2-1 from Tibbs. Just low and inside, but they'll call it a strike.
I don't know about that one.
Neither do I.
I don't know
Quite
about that one.
confused about that one, but
And
game
he
goes
thought
on.
about it too. You can tell.
did. He checked the swing just a little bit. The 2-2 from Tibbs. Outside ball 3.
Even count for Tibbs. If I'm Tibbs, I give him something he knows wants, because he did swing at a pitch earlier in the at bat. Let's see, what does want? Go back to that pitch.
Payoff pitch. Just high, and Nick Alm will get the walk.
Yeah.
Had one last night, and he gets another one tonight.
Two-seam fastball rose just a little bit too much for him. And Alex Rudolph is at bat now, batting .294 and has a 400 on base percentage.
As we have a pinch runner, number 33, Drew Law. He had a stolen base last night in a pinch runner appearance.
A fun fact about Drew Law, perfect batting average.
Really? I didn't even know that, folks. You learn something new every day.
Yep. It's a beautiful sport.
Beautiful world.
Beautiful
It's a beautiful
world.
night for baseball. 78 degrees, a little bit cloudy. The sun's not burning your eyes. It's really nice. As Rudolph makes contact with this one, Drew Law's going to try and slide. He'll be out, but Rudolph will be safe at first. So it'll be 1 out as Rudolph will get to first.
If fielder's choice, Rudolph obviously is going to take first on that.
As up to bat now is actually Ty Anderson.
Oh, wow. Ty Anderson is going to stay in the game, which is something we were not expecting. We were expecting Gentry to come in. But Gentry did go 0 for 3 last night, so maybe that's part of the reason.
First pitch to Anderson is grounded softly to the third base side, and it out. But Rudolph advances to second, so a runner in scoring position, and we will see number 21, Ian Wilson, the third baseman, up to bat.
Ian Wilson batting .333 on the year. Not a lot of at-bats. He had an 80% fielding percentage going into this game, but after that error, you can expect that to go down.
2 outs in the bottom of the second. Runner in scoring position, Ian Wilson. The last time he was on this field, he went 3 for 3.
Let's see what he can do here in this at-bat.
First pitch to Wilson from Tibbs. Fastball high and outside.
And you can see Tibbs, he is looking at Rudolph. He does not trust him. Do you think Rudolph could make a play to third?
I definitely do, even if it is on a drop pitch or a wild pitch. I don't really see him making a move.
Yeah, 2 outs.
On a regular pitch.
But 2 outs, though, trying to make a move. You're already in scoring position.
Wilson swings on the 1-0, and so it'll be a 1-1 count.
I don't think that was the best swing, honestly. That was a little bit too low for him, but still 1-1 count.
One got the curveball and missed. Here's the 1-1. Wilson drives one into center field, but it'll be easily caught. And so that'll end the inning. After 2 innings, Brownsburg 1, Shamrocks 0. No hits for the Rocks currently. They got to figure something out offensively, and they got to keep up a great defensive effort. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here from Shamrock Field, the third inning getting underway in a few short moments. Due up for Brownsburg, we have PJ Fry in the 9-hole, and then we are back at the top. Caden Daughtry, then Nathan Welsh.
Now, PJ Fry, I mean, no disrespect whatsoever. 3 strikeouts in last night's game. We love to see him in this game tonight if you're Westfield.
Ty Anderson led up 2 hits in the first inning and a run. Nick Alm, the catcher, throws the warm-up ball to second base. And we will see PJ Fry begin what hopes to be a revenge tour for him.
PJ Fry, though, on the season batting 182. And when it comes to fielding, he actually has most of Brownsburg's errors on the season. Brownsburg, so far, they have been pretty solid when it comes to fielding percentage, 94%.
As we will begin the third inning here from Westfield, Indiana. Ty Anderson's first offering to PJ Fry. Swung on and missed.
That was an absolutely nasty pitch from Ty Anderson. And of course, with Fry, it's going to be easy to get him to swing.
0-1 from Anderson, just outside. It'll be ball one.
I'm hoping with Anderson to see that off-speed pitch land in the zone. It's just been a little bit outside tonight.
1-1 outside and in the dirt, and it'll be 2-1. The Rocks struggle on offense tonight, which is odd compared to their offensive success in the first part of the season.
Even count here. I think you go back to the pitch that made him swing earlier.
2-1, just low. It'll be 3-1. Now Ty Anderson faces a deficit just like he saw in the second inning. We'll see how he recovers. The 3-1. PJ Fry swung on and missed.
He wanted all of that pitch. That will be fouled off, actually. And now we have an even count, 3-2.
We'll see what Ty Anderson goes to his payoff pitch.
I know I've said it a million times, but you have to go back to that slider. Although at times tonight it has not landed in the zone, this would be a perfect pitch to get him swinging. He's been swinging at off speed a little bit tonight, so Fry has. So this would be a perfect pitch for Anderson.
PJ Fry looking for his first hit in the series. Here's the payoff pitch from Anderson. Called it. Strike three.
Yeah, there was a little bit of hesitation there by the umpire, but luckily he made the right call. And now back to the top of the order with Caden Daughtry.
First strikeout from either team tonight goes to Ty Anderson in the top of the third inning.
Caden Daughtry 0 for 1 so far tonight. Let's see what he can do.
Let's see what the second baseman can do. He's going to look for his first hit of the night. First pitch from Anderson. Swung on and missed. That nasty slider once again.
Yeah, that was a very nasty pitch. And I really don't get the location of the swing was just not there. That was just not a great swing by Daughtry.
The 0-1 to Daughtry. Just outside and low.
Daughtry also looking for his first hit of the series. So keep that in mind as you're watching this at bat.
Well, listening, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
The 1-1 to Daughtry. Right down the middle, strike two.
Great pitch from Anderson. Absolutely beautiful.
I will admit I called that a little bit prematurely, but that pitch looks so good.
I mean, it seemed a bit obvious to me. I'll give you that.
The 1-2. Check swing. Daughtry goes. Might not get it in time, and he does. The throw over to first is in time for the second out of the inning.
Just barely a fair ball. Made a little bit of contact, but just not enough. Great throw to first by Alm.
Alm had a little bit of trouble picking that up, but it's all right. We go to the 2-hole which is Nathan Welsh.
Nathan Welsh also 0 for 1 tonight, and Nathan Welsh as well. He is also looking for his first hit of the series. He was 0 for 4 in the last game.
2 outs here in the top of the first. The first pitch to Welsh. Swung on high and deep into right field. Slicing foul. Evan Russ is there. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did.
What an absolute play from Russ. The sliding catch, just incredible play in right field.
Middle of the third inning. It is bad guys 1, good guys 0. We're going to look for some hits and some runs in the bottom half of this inning. You are watching the Westfield Sports Show. Yeah, it's all right. Back here from now sunny Westfield, Indiana. Bottom of the third inning. Brownsburg 1, Westfield 0. Westfield looking for some hits here as the order will be the 9-hole Eli Manbeck, and then we're back up top. Colin Lindsay leading off, and third, the 2-hole, Braden Hibbler. Braden Hibbler walked. This will be Manbeck's first at bat, and Colin Lindsay is 0 for 1.
Eli Manbeck batting .267 on the year so far. He's really looked good the past couple of games. He had a stolen base in the last game against Brownsburg. Let's see what he can do here against Tibbs.
His last hit came in the Cathedral game where he dang near went perfect. He went 2 for 3. Tibbs' first delivery to Manbeck is
He's
a
going to bunt.
And Manbeck lays that down perfectly, and he will ease to first base.
That is the second perfect bunt from Manbeck in 3 games. If you remember in the Cathedral game, he laid down a perfect bunt to advance the scorers in that game, and yet another perfect bunt.
So now we are back at the top of the order. Colin Lindsay, 0 for 1 on the night, but he looks to break a little drought that he's been in. He went 1 for 5 last night, which was nowhere near ideal for him. So let's see what he can do against Tibbs.
I expect Lindsay to be a lot more calm in this at-bat, considering that, well, he's not pitching anymore.
First pitch to Lindsay is outside, and it'll be ball 1.
Now, so far tonight, Tibbs, he has walked 2 batters. He walked Alm and Hibbler. Let's see if he can walk a third to this at-bat.
1-0 delivery from Tibbs. Swung on, hit deep into right field. It is going back, and it is fair. Manbeck rounding second. Lindsay going to second as they will hold the runners in scoring position. What a double from Colin Lindsay.
That ball was absolutely crushed by Colin Lindsay, and Colin Lindsay, it looks like there's going to be a pinch runner in for him. But I will say with Lindsay, never mind, he's actually going to stay back out there. But anyway, that ball was just a few feet away from the first home run of the season for Westfield.
That ball went about 320
Right by the
to the 330.
Yeah, right by the foul pole.
Now Braden Hibbler, he walked early on. No outs so far with runners in scoring position. Hibbler will look at the ball low.
Now,
1-0.
in the first at-bat, Hibbler, he was swinging a lot at the off-speed pitches. Let's see if Tibbs can get him on that.
Runners at second and third, 0 outs. Bottom of the third, Braden Hibbler up to bat. 2 hits for Westfield, 2 hits for Brownsburg. Brownsburg leads 1-0. Here's the pitch. Hibbler swings and misses.
He wanted all of that. That was an absolutely nasty pitch from Tibbs.
So it's 1-1 to Braden Hibbler, who has a walk in this game, as we've said so many times before. Let's see what he can do here against Tibbs as Braden Hibbler calls time.
And Hibbler, you can tell by the expression on his face, that last swing, he knew that was an absolutely nasty pitch. And
Hibbler with 4 BIs on the year already. He's going to look for a 5th and 6th. Ball low. It's 2-1.
Even count for Tibbs. And I said it earlier in the at-bat. I think you go back to what was getting Hibbler early in the first at-bat, the off-speed pitches. Give him a curveball. This would be a pretty good pitch for Tibbs.
2-1. Off speed, right down the middle. It's 2-2. Hibbler just looked at that one, just let it go right on by.
Tibbs has not given up a run all season. Will that change in this inning?
The 2-2 offering from Tibbs. Low, ball 3.
Back to the even count, 0 outs, and if Hibbler is able to walk, the bases are loaded with 0 outs. That would be not good for Tibbs, to say the least.
Absolutely not, especially with Matt Drozlik, the RBI machine, coming up next.
This is, yeah, like you said, this is probably the worst order, worst position in the order to be giving up these walks.
Well, first of all, they had to get out Manbeck if they wanted any hope of a good inning. They did not do that, as the payoff pitch from Tibbs fouled off by Hibbler. That one was hit very well into left field.
I was really hoping that was going to stay fair, because if so, that would have been a huge hit, likely an RBI double, but it is going to be foul.
If Tibbs got Manbic out first, then that would have given him a little bit more confidence, but instead he gave up one of the best punts I've ever seen as Hibbler fouls this one back straight, and he extends the at-bat a little bit.
Into the parking lot. I mean, we made the joke in the Cathedral game, is your car okay? We're going to have to check after the game.
That one's probably onto the tennis courts by now.
And that was absolutely crushed.
Here's a 3-2 from Tibbs, his payoff pitch. Swing and a miss by Hibbler.
Back to the off speed, getting Hibbler again. A low pitch, and Hibbler, he definitely wants that swing back.
As up to bat, Matt Drozlik. They call him Diesel.
For good reason. He is a big body, and he has absolute power and is an RBI machine.
So 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Runners in scoring position for Matt Drozlik, who has 10 RBIs on the season. The first pitch to Drozlik, off speed just a little bit high.
The question is, though, he's been very clutch with guys in scoring position. Can he make it a 11th and 12th RBI in this at-bat?
So far today, he's 0 for 1. Second pitch, sorry. Checked it, and he did swing. 1-1.
Yeah, if that pitch was outside, I really don't get the swing, but we're back to the 1-1 count.
Hibbs has been cooking tonight, only allowing 2 hits and no runs. 1-1, fouled back by Drozlik. And it's 1-2.
That pitch, for those who don't know at home, that ball was super close to the press box. And
Yes, it
although we
was.
do have a fence right in front of us, that kind of scared me.
Made him jump a little bit. Runners in scoring position. The 1-2 to Drozlik. And it hits him. And he takes it like a champ.
And now the bases are loaded with only 1 out. And Evan Russ, who was incredible in the last game, he is back at bat.
Russ on the year, 409 with a 536 on base percentage and a 1.081 OPS. That's right, a 1.081.
Evan Russ, by far, has been the best hitter on this Westfield team so far.
Let's see what the 4-hole can do. Here's the pitch to Russ. This one's bouncing to the third base line, and it's foul.
Very lucky for Russ. That would have been the second out of the inning. Very lucky that that went foul.
0-1 count, 1 out. Evan Russ.
We saw in Russ's first at-bat, he was swinging very hard on those fastballs. Let's see if Tibbs can get him on that.
Assuming that Russ either gets a hit or walks here, after this will be Nick Alm, who was walked in his first at-bat. So we're at a dangerous part of the order for Tibbs. Here's the 0-1 to Evan Russ. Off speed just high.
That was, I don't know. I think that could be a pitch I may have given to Tibbs, but we're back to the 1-1 count.
If I were the ump, I would say that's about 2 or 3 inches, a little high. Just a little high.
A little bit
Not
too
much.
high.
The 1-1 from Tibbs coming to Russ. The pitch. Swung on, right back to Tibbs. That's up the middle. There's 1 out, trying to go to first, and they get it. Tibbs saves Brownsburg from giving up multiple runs as Westfield leaves 3 ducks on the pond as we go into the 4th inning. Brownsburg 1, Westfield 0. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here from Westfield, Indiana, top of the fourth inning. Brownsburg Bulldogs won, as we just saw a scary throw from Nick Alm over to second during warm-ups. Brownsburg 1, Westfield 0. Westfield left 3 runners on base at the bottom of the third. And at one point, they had 2 runners in scoring position with 0 outs, and they could not convert any of them to runs.
Yep.
Now we see Ty Anderson back up facing Coulter Hamilton, who's 0 for 1 with a walk.
Yeah, that situation with the bases loaded and no runs being scored, it gave me a flashback of watching my Dodgers.
That's pretty sad.
Very sad. Coulter Hamilton is back at bat, and for Ty Anderson, this is not a great part of the batting order to be pitching against.
Here's Anderson's first offering, and that'll just read low and outside. You could have argued that was a strike.
You definitely could have argued that. Hamilton, he did walk in his last at-bat.
1-0 to Hamilton. Just a little bit high, and
He thought about that, too. He was
did
thinking
think about that. Anderson's thrown some really good pitches. His spotting is really good. He's not getting the calls. 2-0 from Anderson. Called strike. Looked a little bit low. I don't know how that was called a strike and not the other ones, but I digress, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, this umpire, bit sketchy. 2-1 count.
This one fouled off, and it'll be 2-2.
Coulter Hamilton, on the year, he actually does have 1 home run. Ty Anderson, he did give up a home run in his last appearance, I believe. So that is something you might want to look out for.
Here's the 2-2 from Anderson. His payoff pitch swung on and fouled.
That was just a little bit of contact, but that was still a very nasty pitch from Anderson.
He's got to fight for his right to stay in the game.
2-2 pitch coming.
I think we see Anderson go back to the slider here, but that's just me. Here's the 2-2 from Ty Anderson to Coulter Hamilton. The pitch swung on high into left field. Racing is Rudolph, and he's got it.
Great high effort play from Rudolph. He had to chase that one into foul territory.
Onto the warning track.
Yeah. He chased that into foul territory, and he made the catch. Very impressive.
Great first at-bat there by Ty Anderson to battle back from a 2-0 count and finally getting out.
Colin McNear. And like I mentioned, Colin McNear, his story, even though we are wanting Westfield to win, his story has been incredible. Only 1 play appearance last year, and now he's batting .462, and he swings on and miss.
Oh my goodness, he swung for the fences just like his first at-bat. He swung for gold.
He wants it all.
He swung for gold, and he got nothing.
In the last game, though, he was swinging. He was hitting them.
As this one's fouled off, and it's 0-2 to McNear. You're 0 for 1 currently, as Anderson will look to put another K up on the board. The 0-2 from Anderson. Not called, but it could have been. That was
definitely could have been.
Nasty two-seam fastball, and it's 1-2.
Something, though, to think about. McNear, he's hit 2 home runs. Of course, Anderson, he's given up a home run.
It's the 1-2, low and in the dirt, so it'll be 2-2.
I hope that the umpire not giving Anderson that last call doesn't really, mess up the mindset of Anderson.
Last time he was in a 2-2 count, there was an out. Let's see what he can do now. 2-2. Swung on high and deep into left field. This one's going back. Rudolph's under it, and he loses it.
On the warning track, like I said, McNear, absolute stud.
So he gains his first hit of the day, as he'll remain on second, and it's still 1-0. But up to bat, number 4, Wyatt Elliott, who's 0-1.
Batting .357 on the year so far. He is 0 for 1. He is also looking for. Actually, no, he had 2 hits in the last game against Westfield. Like I said, this is not a great part of the order to be facing off against if you're Anderson.
Let's see here. First pitch to Elliott as they step off. A little bit of a timeout war going on. One out here in the top of the fourth. 1-0 Brownsburg. First pitch coming to Elliott as there's more time.
Now, I think you really need to look out for McNear on second going to third, because last season, McNear, he did have one play appearance, but he also had an appearance as a designated runner. And funny enough, in that appearance as a designated runner, that one appearance, he did steal a base.
First pitch. Got him. Got him looking. 0-1. That was a beautiful two-seam fastball, just low enough, but not too low, and called a strike.
Absolutely nasty.
0-1 from Anderson. Anderson looking at Elliott on second. He will not do anything. Here's the pitch. A little high, off speed.
Definitely a little bit too high on the off-speed pitch, but 1-1 count. Where do you think he goes with this pitch? What pitch do you think he's going to throw?
I think it's either a slider or a four-seam fastball. Slider's his good old reliable. Here's the 1-1 from Anderson as he steps off as Hibbler goes to cover second.
I think with McNear, the way McNear has been off the base and the way Anderson's been looking, I think Hibbler needs to be a little bit closer to second base, but that's just me.
Elliott so far today 0-1. Here's the 1-1 to him. Two-seam fastball right down the middle strike. That is nasty movement.
Got him looking too. He did think about swinging, but he got him looking on that.
That is right down the middle, and it's 1-2, the pitcher's count.
This would be a
Anderson's
huge
payoff
out.
Pitch. Outside, ball 2.
Like you said earlier, that slider is all reliable for Ty Anderson. I think you go back to it.
But tonight, it looks like his two seams working for him. That's probably the highest pitch to strike ratio. As there's a 2-2 swung on and missed.
Absolutely nasty pitch from Ty Anderson, and that gives him the second out of the inning. And just like that, what looked like to be not the best inning for Anderson is looking like maybe a little bit more manageable.
Now, up to bat, the man with a double in the second inning that would have led to a run scored for Brownsburg, Mr. Jack Regatius. First pitch,
A little bit too low.
inside. Low and inside. So it'll be a 1-0 count to Regatius, who's obviously 1 for 1 with a double.
And then
Anderson steps off.
Regatius did make it to third base in that play appearance.
Here's the 1-0 to Regatius. Swung on, softly hit, foul ball. Down the first base line. If that would have stayed fair, we would have seen Matt Drozlik probably cover the bag. Hopefully, if his
Oh, I
glove is working today.
definitely think he would have covered that.
So 2 outs in the top of the first. You just need one. You don't need both of them. Runner on second. Runner in scoring position for Jack Regatius.
Regatius did go 0 for 3 last night, so already a better start for him.
Here's the 1-1 from Anderson. Swung on and fouled. It'll be 1-2.
Just a little bit of contact, but that was a nasty off-speed pitch from Anderson.
I was going inside, and I don't know how Jack Regatius made contact with it.
1-2 count, the count in Anderson's favor.
Let's see what good old Ty Andy can do here. The 1-2. Swung on, hit down the first base line, and that'll get through. They're going to be sending runner home, and he will score.
I don't think the throw home would have made it, but Evan Russ did drop the ball while trying to throw the home plate, but I still don't think it would have made it.
So another fielding error results in another run scored by Brownsburg. It is 2-0.
This is not great as Alm is meeting up at
Mound with
the
Ty
mound with Ty
Anderson.
Anderson.
That's almost unexcusable. You have 2 outs, and you let up Just some weak contact into right field. As the meeting is still going on, we'd like to give a shout out to sponsors that we don't have. I see Community First over in right field. There's that banner.
Sponsors we don't have. I love that, Evan.
If anyone wants to sponsor us, DM me at EC Sports Media on Instagram, or just go check out my content. There's that little plug. Go check out the Shamrock Sportscast, a sports podcast that we do. We film every Wednesday morning, or almost every Wednesday morning, and it's usually posted by Wednesday or Thursday, edited by our great producer, Alan. Now up to bat is Alec Murphy.
1 for 1 on the day. He did reach base on an error.
And on first, that's Regatius. He just had an RBI. First pitch from Anderson, outside. Alm tries to get him, and he does not. Throw to first is just a little bit late, or the tag is a little bit late, so it's a 1-0 count.
If I were Ty Anderson, I would not have thrown that pitch. I think I would have immediately gone to the pickoff throw. The pickoff throw did work a lot in the last home game against Cathedral. Maybe it could have worked there, but not this time.
The 1-0 from Anderson. Just low and outside, ball 2.
This is the worst time with 2 outs, and you just gave up a huge hit to be giving up, not be giving up, but to be having these issues with your control.
2-0 to Murphy. Right down the middle, strike 1.
Back to the even count. This is what Anderson needs. Go to the curveball, but like you said, the two-seam fastball seems to be what's been working for him.
2-1. Swung on, fouled back right at my face.
We have an open window on the far right. I thought that ball was about to go back in through that window, and somebody in this press box would have had a souvenir.
If only this were Indians games where that would be possible. The 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Anderson pitching to Murphy. Pickoff move. Not in time.
And you
Both teams are pretty unsuccessful so far with the pickoff move.
And you can hear how loud that Brownsburg dugout is from up here.
They're chirping. It's funny how the tide changes whenever it's a not close ball game. That one's high and fouled off. I got to check my car for that one. That one soared as the count remains 2-2.
And I like what Brownsburg's doing in the dugout. Being a pitcher mentally might be one of the hardest things in sports. Get in the pitcher's head and possibly make him make a mistake.
Absolutely. Here's the 2-2 from Anderson to Murphy. Kickoff. Did not get him, although it looked pretty close.
It looked like Drozlik thought that he had him.
Everyone thought he had him, except for obviously the Brownsburg dugout.
Yeah.
That was a great move by Anderson.
2-2 count.
2 outs in the top of the 4th, trying to escape relatively unscathed, only trying to give up 1 out. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again.
The 3rd time in this at-bat, a pitch is fouled off.
Alan, you got to go check your car now. Is that the 3rd straight foul?
Not 3rd straight, but 3rd foul. 2-2 count 2-2 pitch coming again.
Gracious with another lead off of first. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle. Everyone was confident.
Got him looking, too. You love to see it.
So Ty Anderson leaves the inning a little bit scathed, but it is still a close ball game. 2-0 after 4.5 innings of baseball. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here. The bottom of the fourth inning is about to get underway. Brownsburg 2, Westfield 0. Brownsburg with 4 hits. Westfield with just 2. There have been a couple errors in there as well. Last inning, we saw 1 run scored by Brownsburg off of a Matt Drozdick error. After the inning, we saw a lengthy discussion between Westfield coach Ryan Bonnell and Matt. As for the third straight inning, I don't know what's happening with this Brownsburg catcher, but he cannot catch 7th and final warm-up pitch that has been delivered to him by Tibbs. Up to bat first in the inning is Nick Alm. He's 0 for 1 with a walk so far in today's game. Let's see if he can get a hit and get the Rocks closer to scoring a run.
7.2 OPS, though, and the on-base percentage is pretty solid. So I think he could definitely get on base. He has the patience to do it.
Here's the first pitch to Alm, and it is inside. (1-0). Tibbs to Alm. Swung on foul back, and that one
was close, man.
Very close.
Very close to the window, just a little bit low, but obviously we have the fence. I really shouldn't be flinching because we have the fence in front and a window.
Although at every game, no matter the skill level, you see this happen with foul balls as Tibbs steps off. You see this happen at a lot of games. Even at MLB games, the people that purchase seats right behind home plate and they get a foul right back in their face and they flinch as the 1-1.
A little bit too high.
Just a little too high, and maybe a little bit inside, but it'll be 2-1. These people that purchase home plate seats look shocked whenever a foul ball comes right back in their face.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you paid for. I mean, I don't get it, but
exactly.
2-1 pitch coming.
Just low, and it'll be ball 3.
I think the catcher could have done a lot better of a job with the framework on that pitch. 3-1 count.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's the story of everyone's life.
Story of my life.
3-1 count to Nick Alm, and he walks for the second straight time.
I called it before the at-bat. Alm, very patient, and he's on first now with Alex Rudolph coming.
Alex Rudolph, 1 for 1 or 0 for 1, regardless, with a fielder's choice, as we see for the second time in this game, Drew Law come onto first to pinch run for Nick Alm. Nick Alm's done his job so far in this game, getting runners on base.
Alex Rudolph, if you remember, in the last inning, he made a very impressive play in the outfield, making a catch that was on the warning track in foul territory.
Off with 3 RBIs on the year as the first pitch runner goes. Drew Law in time.
That's why he's out there. That is why he is out there. Drew Law, he has been more valuable to this team than most people think.
His second or third stolen base of the year. This kid, even though he was injured early on, we knew he was going to be a valuable asset on the base paths, and boy, has he been valuable. 0 outs, 1-0 to Alex Rudolph. His OBP is 400 on the year, and he has a couple RBIs. Here's the 1-0 to Rudolph. This one is hit into left field. Is it going to get down? Yes, it is. They're going to hold Drew Law at third, and Alex Rudolph gets himself a base knock, and he's hype.
Rudolph, he needed that, especially because of the past couple of games. It hasn't really been his games, but he's made some great plays on defense and then a crucial hit on offense to get a runner in scoring position with 0 outs, and Ty Anderson is back at bat.
So 0 outs, runners on the corners with Ty Anderson up to bat. We've seen this movie before, folks. Here's the first pitch to Anderson. Swung on. It's softly to second base. They're going to try and turn 2. They will not get it in time.
But on the bright side, Law makes it home on that play to make it a 2-1 ball game.
Great hit by Ty Anderson to make it a 1-run ball game, as you just said. And now up, number 21, Ian Wilson, who is 0 for 1.
Ian Wilson, I will say, in the minimal at-bats he's been getting, he's looked really good. And obviously he did have the error earlier in the game. But let's see what he can do. It's at-bat.
That run. That was another RBI for Ty Anderson on the year. He has now 3. And now he's standing on first with a little bit of a lead. First pitch to Ian Wilson. They're actually going to call it a strike. That
Yeah, that looked a little bit too low, but I'm not complaining.
Here's the 0-1 with 1 out. Anderson with another big lead. Tibbs looks for a pretty long time. Here's the 0-1. Swinging bunt by Ian Wilson. That'll advance the runner, but be an out. So a sacrifice bunt, I guess.
I don't know if you should call it a sacrifice bunt.
Sacrifice swinging bunt. How about that?
Bunt, I mean, that was
He
barely a fair ball. Barely a fair ball. He wasn't trying to bunt.
That's what you get whenever you swing, I guess, whenever you swing hard on a curveball that's going in the dirt.
Yeah.
That's what you get. Now to bat Eli Manbeck, who tonight is 1 for 1 with a bunt. I don't think we'll see a bunt attempt this time. We'll just see if he can let it rip.
I will say Eli Manbeck, so far this season, he has been the master of the bunt.
As that one will be middle, and strike 1. 2 outs. Runner on second. 2-1 Brownsburg. We are on the board with a Ty Anderson RBI single. Here's the 0-1 to Eli Manbeck. Tibbs swung on, and it'll be fielded by the third baseman. Throw over to first in time, and that will end the inning. After 4 innings, we see a 2-1 ball game. Brownsburg leads going into the 5th. Let's see who we got up. We have Jake Hoover, PJ Fry, and then back to the top of the order with Caden Daughtry. Whenever we get back, you're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back, top of the 5th inning here in Westfield, Indiana. Brownsburg 2, Westfield 1. I wish it was Brownsburg 1, Westfield 2. Regardless, we see Jake Hoover up to bat. He's 0 for 1. And Ty Anderson, the pitcher, he has, let's count him, 1, 2, 3 Ks on the day so far.
Jake Hoover still looking for his first hit in this series.
We'll see if he can get it here. As
this is a great position in the order for Anderson to be going against. You have Jake Hoover, then Fry, but unfortunately after that, you're at the top of the order.
Which, even then, he's still, or the top of the order, the first 2 batters are 0-2 respectively, as the first pitch is just a little bit low.
I would have given that to him, honestly.
There's been some questionable calls as the takes his mask off to say something to the West dugout.
Yep, Angel Hernandez.
1-0 from Anderson. Outside ball 2. He tried the 2-seam there, did not work. I get where he's going with that. The 2-seam fastball was in his mind gonna come back in and try and be a strike. The 2-0 just low and inside, so that'll be ball 3.
Now Anderson, right now, he has a lot of ground to make up as 3-0 count. But let's see what he can do here.
Hoover, as we just said, 0 for 1 on the day, trying to get his first of anything as there's a strike by Anderson, just a little bit inside.
Absolutely beautiful pitch from Anderson. Back to the 2-seam fastball. That looked great.
Hoover looking to be productive. The 3-1 swung on and missed. It'll be 3-2.
Absolutely nasty pitch from Anderson. And just like that, we're back to the even count, 3-2.
Anderson's payoff pitch Swung on and missed.
2 straight swings and misses from Hoover, and Anderson has been looking nasty in this inning so far.
That's his. Sorry, go ahead.
And now PJ Fry, who is still looking for his first hit. Remember, in the last game, he struck out 3 times against Culp. Let's see what happens here.
That was the first out of the inning. He's going to look for the second, as that's right down the middle and strike one.
Ty Anderson, he's really starting to find the zone, especially with the 2-seam fastballs. He's really starting to find his area in the zone he likes.
Just outside, ball 2, and a little bit high as well. That was on a fastball, so 1-1 count with 1 out.
That ends his streak of 4 straight strikes, by the way, but it was beautiful while it lasted.
And lasted, it did for a short while. 2-1 now after a high inside ball.
Even count, not time to panic quite yet if you're Anderson.
2-1 from Anderson. Low and outside, ball 3.
Now with PJ Fry, and I mean this with all due respect, if you're Anderson, just give him your best pitch. Give him that slider because you know he's not hitting it if he's swinging.
Here's the 3-1 to Fry. Swung on and missed.
What did I tell you?
That was a perfect call, my friend. Now we got a full count.
Last time we had the 3-2 count, it resulted in a strikeout.
Anderson's payoff pitch just outside, and it'll be ball 4.
And now back to the top of the order, Caden Daughtry. He is 0 for 2 on the evening.
Ty Anderson with success tonight, but also not with success. He's had a couple walks, but even more strikeouts, so he's going to try and maybe get a double play ball here to get out of the inning.
I mean, the 4 strikeouts so far is pretty good, for sure.
Pretty good for 4 innings.
For 4 innings, yeah.
Here's the 1-out pitch to Daughtry from Anderson. Right down the middle, strike 1.
What I didn't like there, the umpire, maybe he's just a little bit too slow with his arm movements, but it looked like he hesitated.
The 0-1 as Fry leads off. As time is called by Daughtry.
Now, something to note with Daughtry batting .278 on the season going into this game, and he has 3 RBIs.
Pickoff move, not in time, and the count remains 0-1. 2-1 here, Brownsburg in the top of the 5th inning. We're at the top of the order, Brownsburg's order, that is. On an 0-1 count with 1 out and a man on first, that's Fry. Another pickoff move, runner goes, there is a pickle, and we're going to try and get him in a rundown here. Fry slips.
Tripped up a little bit.
And they finally get it out. There's Gentry, finally got him. The tag, and there's 2 outs. That's the first pickle I've seen all season.
Yeah, first pickle all season.
Whenever I feel like Fry saw some movement by Ty Anderson and decided to go.
Yeah,
not knowing
didn't
that it was a
get that.
pickoff.
I did not get that. But Daughtry, he's still looking for his first hit in the series and his 3rd at bat in this game.
The 0-1 from Anderson. Swung on, right to Braden Hibbler. Hibbler makes the throw. Got him!
That will end the inning. That glove of Braden Hibbler is great.
Going into the bottom of the 5th inning, we got a duel, folks. Let's see where Westfield can improve. Let's see. Who do we got coming up next? We got Manbeck.
And it's back to the top of the order.
Back to the top of the order with Colin Lindsay and Braden Hibbler. 2-1. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back live from Westfield, Indiana, here at Shamrock Field. Bottom of the fifth action coming up. Let's preview this batting order that Westfield has going in. The three that are going to be batting. The 9-hole of Eli Manbeck, he's 1 for 1 with a bunt.
And then it's back to Colin Lindsay.
Colin Lindsay, 1 for 2. And then Braden Hibbler, 0 for 1 with a walk. 0 for 2 with 2 walks.
Yeah.
Or does he have a hit?
He does not have a hit.
He does not have a hit yet. Actually, we're up at Colin Lindsay. I can't believe that we missed that. I don't know.
I cannot believe we missed that.
Lindsay leading off. He's 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch.
Just a little bit outside. I would have probably given that to him, though. That was kind of in.
Regardless, the count is 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle, strike one.
I think that was a pitch I would have swung at.
Absolutely.
Wasn't the fastest pitch. Right in the zone. Would have been the perfect pitch to swing at.
Colin Lindsay is at bat. Swung on. High and foul. They're going to try and chase it. And they dropped it. Wow. So the 1-2 to Colin Lindsay after a foul, a high and deep foul.
It's very shocking to see them drop that ball, considering how well, statistically, their defense has been with a 94% fielding percentage. But back to the 1-2 count for Lindsay.
It's a 2-1 ball game here in the bottom of the fifth. 1-2 count to Colin Lindsay. High, just over the catcher's glove, and it'll be 2-2.
Very lucky for that catcher that nobody was on base.
Absolutely. That would have been a wild pitch if I've ever seen one.
2-2 count.
First batter of the inning. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 3.
Even count. If I am Tibbs, I give Lindsay a off-speed pitch, because you do know Lindsay, he likes to swing at those low off-speed pitches.
Here's the payoff pitch. Slider and got him. That was a late call. Another late call by the umpire.
Another late call.
But that slider was just perfectly placed on the outside corner. Not much you can do there as Braden Hibbler comes up.
And not to
bat.
mention Lindsay did check his swing too.
He did.
Now Braden Hibbler 0 for 1 on the night, but he does have a walk.
Now, if you're Tibbs, are you thinking, all right, we're at the meat of the order. How am I going to get these guys out? Or are you thinking just keep trucking, keep chugging, and we'll just see what happens?
I think if I'm Tibbs, I go to what's been getting Hibbler all night, and that's the off-speed pitches. And did he try to bunt?
Yes, he did, and it was fouled off, but he is speedy, so it would have been a pretty good bunt.
0-1 count.
As Hibbler is talking to
The umpire has him by the arm.
yeah. We saw a little bit of an altercation between Tibbs and Hibbler there. As the umpire is now approaching Tibbs. There's been some heat between these two, apparently.
I mean, you kind of, for the sport of baseball, you love to see it. Two conference rivals going at it, chirping at each other. You love to see it. And now Bunnell is going to talk to the umpire. It kind of makes you wonder what was said.
Hibbler is known to be more of one of the aggressive players on the diamond.
Hibbler, if you do know Hibbler, he's very outspoken, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Yes, absolutely. He voices his opinion, and whether he likes something or not, he talks about it.
Now back to the 0-1 count. You can hear some parents yelling in the crowd from up here.
Just like T-ball.
Just like T-ball. Just like Little League.
Here's the 0-1 to Hibbler. Swung on and fouled. That was a fastball, and that was probably the hardest thrown pitch that Tibbs has thrown all night.
Oh,
And coincidentally, it was a little bit inside.
yeah, a little bit inside. 0-2 count. Hibbler has a lot of ground to make up here.
I guess it would be the sliders coming from Tibbs, but we'll see. Here's the 0-2. Slider, got him inside.
Yep. The 0-3 is able to get Hibbler out. And now back to Matt Droslik with 2 outs, nobody on base.
As Hibbler returns to the dugout, noticeably angry. Droslik is 0 for 2 on the night with a hit by pitch. Let's see him try and get on base here, or even a base knock. Check swing fouled.
That one is fouled off, and Droslik, I think, in my opinion, he is due for a hit. I think he's been, although he is 0 for 2, he has really been seeing the strike zone well. He was hit by the pitch earlier, and he is due for a hit.
Absolutely. Here's the 0-1, swung on and missed.
Just as I
this inning.
Yeah, just as I said, he sees the zone very well. Although that was inside, he swings on and misses. But for a sophomore, he has done really well with his IQ and discipline.
As the sliders fouled off, and it'll still be 0-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. In a game where Brownsburg leads 2-1 with just 4 hits.
If I'm Tibbs, I think you give Droslik something high velocity. Give him like a 4-seam fastball.
That's exactly what came at him, and that was fouled off. That might have been a 2-seam actually.
Yeah, the way it dropped, I mean,
the way it dropped and moved, you could.
Yeah, if it's 4-seam, it's just an absolute laser.
Go 2 count again to Droslik. Tibbs is in his 5th inning of competition. He's still looking like it's the first. Here's the 0-2. Off speed, fouled back, as you could tell he didn't want to necessarily swing there, but he did take the foul.
0-2 count, still a lot of ground to make up for Droslik.
It makes me wonder if he had fully swung on that with the speed of his bat that it was going, would he have gotten a hit? Because he did make contact on that curveball. Here's the 0-2. High.
Just a little bit too high. I thought for a second that was going to be a strikeout, but now to the 1-2 count.
Tibbs' count. It's 1-2 to Matt Droslik. He fires that foul.
That one was
into the
crushed.
baseline. That one was.
Droslik, he needs to make him pay on this next pitch.
He's had 3 or 4 foul balls in this at-bat alone. He's destined to make contact and rip one, possibly over the fence.
Now, Westfield, they have not hit a home run all season, but I think if someone were to do it, it would be Droslik.
1-2. Foul back, and that one was
right in front
of
of us. That was right in front of us.
We've been saying it all night. Oh, it's near my face. Oh, it's right above us. Oh, it's right below us. That one was like...
right there. Thank God for that fence and the window.
And the screen.
And the screen.
As producer Allen just chirped. All right, 1-2. 5 foul balls in this, as there's one driven into right center field under it and caught, and that won the inning. So no luck for Westfield in the bottom of the 5th, but there's still 2 innings of play left.
Don't want to miss it.
Brownsburg leads 2-1 going into the 6th inning. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here from Shamrock Field. 6th inning action coming your way in a matter of moments. Up to bat for Brownsburg. The order of this inning, 2, 3, 4, Nathan Welsh, Coulter Hamilton, and Colin McNear, all of which have a combined 1 hit tonight.
I mean, with the position in this game we are at, 2 innings left, 1-run ball game. This is why the sport of baseball is so incredible. You do not want to miss these final 2 innings.
Ty Anderson is on the bump, and the bullpen for Brownsburg is actually Alec Murphy, as we see the first offering from Anderson. Low and a little bit outside, but it might have been over the plate, and it'll be ball 1.
I would be very curious to see, though, whether Murphy would stay in the game, even if he was pitching or if there would be a pinch hitter.
Here's the 1-0 from Anderson to Welsh. 2-seam fastball, just a little bit high, and it'll be ball 2.
Back to that 2-seam fastball. That is the pitch that Anderson's been able to get in the zone tonight.
2-0. Just outside.
Tiny bit outside.
Outside and a little bit high. So it'll be 3-0 for Anderson. We've seen this story time and time again.
And he's been coming back. Yeah, he's been coming back.
Welsh 0 for 2 on the night. Can he get a hit? Strike 1.
A little bit too low maybe, but still they're going to give him the call.
This guy's zone's been all over the place tonight, and I'm not afraid to say that.
For the 3rd time tonight, I'm going to say it. Angel Hernandez right there.
And there's a walk. Ball inside. Welsh gets on after a walk.
And now to Coulter Hamilton, who is 0 for 2 tonight with a walk.
Anderson seems to be losing a little bit of firepower. Someone is warming up in the bullpen for Westfield. Cannot tell who it is at this time.
Coulter Hamilton, despite him being very solid all year, he's still looking for his first hit in this series.
Looks like Andrew Nicholson warming up in the bullpen for Westfield.
Andrew Nicholson has the lowest ERA on the team. Swing and a miss.
Big swing and a miss by 15 Coulter Hamilton, and that'll be an 0-1 count for Ty Anderson. Ty Anderson is in his 5th inning of competition in this game. We obviously saw Colin Lindsay be the first inning pitcher for the Rocks.
I think if I'm Benell, I keep Anderson in there for another inning, save Nicholson for the save, and another swing and a miss.
2 great pitches by Ty Anderson to start this at-bat out, and it's an 0-2 count. Welsh with a big lead off at first. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pickoff move here. Matt Droslik especially prepared for one.
Yeah, with the no outs, definitely.
Pickoff.
Back into
And a
another
little bit of
pickle.
a pickle. And an out!
That one was a lot quicker than last time.
Yes, it was. There was only one direction that he moved, maybe even 2. He changed directions, and what do you know? Another out on another pickle for the Shamrocks. As it is still an 0-2 count, but now we have 1 out.
That makes things a lot more simple for Anderson. Doesn't have to deal with anybody on the base paths.
Anderson did give up a walk to Hamilton earlier on in the game, but it's an 0-2 count. And let's see how this goes. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on, hit into left field. Lindsey's under it. Actually, Braden Hibler's going to be racing for it, but Lindsey's under it, and he makes the catch. 2 outs.
I don't really get what Hibler was doing there. It looked like Lindsey had the entire time, and he did.
I don't know. Maybe he was trying to look cool. He does that sometimes. He's a flashy player. I can't blame him.
Very flashy player, and he's, like I said earlier, very outspoken.
Now up to bat, Colin McNear, 1 for 2 with a double today.
Colin McNear has definitely been the best batter on this Brownsburg team all season, and a swing and a miss. Absolutely nasty pitch from Anderson.
His best stuff is coming into him. If you think about it, we've seen this a lot by Anderson in almost every inning. His best stuff comes after the first 1 or 2 batters.
I can definitely agree with that.
The 0-1 ball in the dirt.
The
Nick
glove
Alm
came off
loses
the
his
ball.
glove as it's 1-1.
Once again, Alm, very lucky that nobody was on base. 1-1 count.
Leading off the bottom of the inning for the Rocks will be Russ, Allman, Rudolph. Well, right now we're focused on the action at the top. 1-1 count. Ty Anderson.
They're not. Oh, they're going to give it to him.
Again, these late calls are
Yeah,
kind of getting us in the
late
booth.
Yeah, as a commentator, these late calls are killing us.
But at least he's decisive. At least he's making up his mind, and it's a rather good call. 1-2 payoff pitch. Just outside, ball 2. That was a good pitch, just a little bit too outside.
A little bit too outside for sure.
McNear waits for the pitch.
2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 strike away.
Swing
Got
and a
him!
miss. Swing and a miss for Anderson to end the top half of the 6th. Hasn't allowed a hit in a couple innings, and now we go into the bottom of the 6th. With Russ, Alm, and Rudolph up to bat, you will not want to miss this action. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here from Shamrock Field. We see a new face on the bump for Brownsburg for the first time tonight. Number 6, Alec Murphy.
Alec Murphy, this season pitching in 3 appearances, has not given up a run, and he has a save. So this is definitely the guy you want on the bump if you're Brownsburg.
But it's against some of the toughest bats in the Westfield lineup. Evan Russ, currently tonight 0 for 2. A little bit underwhelming from him. In the 5-hole, the catcher Nick Alm, he's 0 for 2 with 2 walks. So being productive on those 2 at-bats. And then number 6, Alex Rudolph, the designated hitter. 2 for 2 on a fielder's choice and a single.
Possibly a great closers matchup coming up with Nicholson. He's been warming up in the bullpen. And also, not to mention, Ty Anderson is at 90 pitches.
Yeah, I believe they might give him 1 batter, but after that he is done. The young arm, we're going to try and preserve him for the rest of the year. And leading off is Evan Russ.
0 for 2 tonight, but with the way he's played in this series, I can definitely expect him to get a clutch hit here.
New face on the mound. Let's see what it can do. Murphy deals. This one's popped up over the second base bag, just a little shallow, and caught for the first out.
So far, on pace for a 1-2-3 inning. Obviously only 1 pitch in, but that is exactly what Murphy needs.
Now up to bat, Nick Alm, the hefty righty, I guess you could say.
Hefty righty. You know hefty lefty. This is hefty righty.
Exactly. Tonight, Alm is 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Hasn't gotten a chance to hit anything, so let's see if he can get his first hit right here. Murphy deals. Low, ball 1. That was a heater, though.
Definitely.
I feel like Murphy's more of a velocity guy than a location guy. And
That's how a lot of closers are, it seems like, in baseball.
with Alm's plate patience and plate discipline, you wonder if you can even strike this guy out. Here's the 1-0 to Nick Alm, as this one will be just low. As
That was debatable.
that was Wyatt Elliott made a great attempt at framing there, but just a little bit low. The 2-0 to Alm. This one is popped up into center field. And he's got it, so it'll be the second straight out.
So far, a quick inning for Murphy. Now with Alex Rudolph coming up to bat, it's time to make him work, especially if you don't want him in there in the bottom of the 7th.
If Alex Rudolph gets out here, it'll be a relatively easy outing for the closer, who will have to deal with Wilson, Manbeck, and Lindsay.
I wouldn't say that, because remember, we thought Gentry was going to be easy for Reeves in the Cathedral game, and you know what happened there.
Exactly. First pitch, strike inside. Rudolph looked at it. Here's the 0-1 pitch, just low and inside again at Rudolph's feet, but it's 1-1.
Something I do wonder, though, is Murphy going to come back in the game to bat, or will it be a pinch hitter?
Here's the 1-1, inside again, ball 2.
Even count for Rudolph.
2-1 coming from Murphy. Called strike, 2-2.
Very late call again. And I don't agree with the call either.
There's some calls that you wish you could have back, and that certainly wasn't one of them. Here's the 2-2 with 2 outs. Swung on, fouled off.
Man, we do need robot umpires.
Could not agree more, Roan. Could not agree more. Rudolph perfect tonight so far. Let's see if he can continue it with a 2-2 count in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 outs, down by 1. Here's Rudolph. Here's the pitch. Fouled off.
Absolutely crushed, too.
Crushed, but foul. Hey, look, he hit it opposite field. Woohoo!
That's been a struggle for Westfield all season.
It's been a struggle for high school students.
Oh, yeah, especially at the high school level.
Rudolph calls for time.
I mean, you got guys in the MLB like D.D. Gregorius who can't even hit opposite field. So
Exactly.
a high school student.
Let's see if he can. Here's the 2-2. Swung and a miss.
That will end this part of the inning.
Side is retired for Murphy. Now we head into the top of the 7th. Potentially a new face on the bump for Westfield. We will see whenever we get back. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Seventh inning action here from Shamrock Field in beautiful Westfield, Indiana. It is a gorgeous night. The lights have come on, and the pitcher, who started the 2nd inning and on from Westfield, has not come out of the game yet. He is at 90 pitches, now 97 with his warm-ups, probably more with his warm-ups, but
Very shocking. If I'm Benell, though, I'm giving him one batter, and no matter how it goes, you bring out Nicholson to finish the job.
top of the 7th, Brownsburg leads 2-1. They're
Wyatt
winning the hit
Elliott.
battle 4-3.
Elliott did strike out earlier in the game.
Here's the first pitch from Ty Anderson. This is drilled onto the third base.
Another
and
error from Ian Wilson. Are you kidding me? That fielding percentage I talked about so much early in the broadcast, that's probably gone way down.
they're going to keep Ty Anderson in the game from now on, as number 14 will be the pinch runner for Brownsburg.
And that would actually be... There is no number 14 on the roster.
Like Miles McCarty. Cohen Callahan, that's right. Brought up from their JV team.
That was said, I will say, that was said by Coach Benell before the game that they did have a lot of JV guys that were on tap for the game today.
So Elliott gets his first hit as Regatius swings at a inside off-speed pitch in its own 1.
Regatius has not been so tenacious ever since his last at-bat. That wasn't funny.
Even though he's 2 for 2 with a double and single, as there's a pickoff move, not in time. The count remains at 0-1.
and you can hear the chirping from the Brownsburg dugout. It's something that you love to see in baseball. It's great for the sport.
It's one of the best parts of baseball if you're a fan. The 0-1 from Anderson. There's a bunt. It's a pop-up bunt. Anderson's got it, and he does.
Talk about a great play from Ty Anderson. Great heads-up play, too.
I would have loved to see a slow motion on his face while running. He was screaming all the way to the ball. I got it, I got it, I got it.
Now,
for the
Alec
first out.
Murphy, this answers my question from earlier. They are not going to take him out of the game.
He is 1 for 2 with an error and a strikeout. With an error-filled hit and a strikeout.
Yeah, error field.
Ty Anderson with a double play opportunity presented to him. We'll see if he can either get a strikeout or a ground out here. First pitch swung on into left field, and that'll get down for a base hit.
He's going to get neither of those, but after that at bat, Ty Anderson, his arm has to be absolutely cooked. I think now might be the time you go to Nicholson.
As we do not see any movement from the pitcher, or not the pitchers, the coaching staff of Westfield, and they will keep Anderson in the game.
Still only 1 out. We have a stoppage in play with a pinch runner coming in.
Number 8, Drew Jennings.
The sophomore, Drew Jennings.
Might be able to hear the umpire. He's talking very loud. He's yelling.
Drew Jennings has not stolen a base all year.
Brownsburg number 5, Zach Guy at the plate.
Zach Guy making his first appearance of the day. Zach Guy, he actually does have a perfect batting average, but obviously only 1 at bat, and it was an RBI too, so maybe the trend will continue for him.
Let's see what Anderson has with a runner in scoring position and 2 runners on base. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Guy takes ball 1.
Oh,
strike 1. Never mind. Again,
that umpire.
late call. Thank you, Blue. Appreciate that.
Is that his name, Lou?
Blue. I'm just saying Blue. You know, umpire Blue. 0-1 count for Ty Anderson. Good pitch there. Let's see what he deals this time. The 0-1. Swung on and missed.
Absolutely nasty pitch from Ty Anderson.
You can see he's starting to hit his rhythm even though he is at 100-odd pitches. The 0-2 for Anderson with 1 out in the top of the 7th.
Now, after this outing, no matter how it ends, I think it's going to be quite a bit of time until we see Anderson back on the bump again.
I don't anticipate seeing him on Monday against Carmel, but maybe in the Fisher series, which is about a week from now. The 0-2 from Anderson, payoff pitch, just outside.
Just a little bit outside. Back now to the 1-2 count. Anderson, he cannot let this advantage of being ahead slip from his fingers.
As the commentator from Major League said, just a bit outside.
Yes, a bit outside, yep.
The 1-2 from Anderson to Zach Guy, the pinch hitter.
Anderson's looking at second.
Anderson deals.
Too low. 2-2 count.
Haven't heard much on the guy, Zach Guy, but we can tell from the at bat he has a little bit of plate discipline.
And he is a senior, too, which for a guy not in the lineup.
Starting lineup, yeah,
it's
odd to see. The 2-2 fouled off. Third base side, right off the fence.
I believe that is the first time Guy has made contact in this at-bat.
Yes. He's seen a ball go by him. He swung at one, but he hasn't made contact until that pitch. About the 5th pitch of the at-bat.
2-2 pitch coming.
Anderson gets the sign. Alm sets. Anderson sets. Timeout called. Brownsburg leads the hitting total 6-3. over Westfield, and yet they only lead by 1 run. They do have a runner in scoring position on second, though. We will see how this transpires.
That guy's only hit of the season was an RBI in his only plate appearance and his only at bat. So
I think this takes the tally as the longest at bat in history because of time called yet again.
and it's been, of course, the foul ball did extend it as well. 2-2 count here with a 2-2 pitch coming.
Anderson looks over to second, looks back at home. Pickoff play, not in time.
That was a clean scoop from Hibbler. Even though it wasn't in time, that was a clean scoop from Hibbler, I will say.
Ty Anderson thought he got it just a little bit late.
I think if Hibbler was too much off of the base, if he was a little bit closer, then he could have gotten a crucial out.
2-2 count from Anderson. Anderson deals. Swung on and missed!
That was absolutely nasty and just what Ty Anderson needed. Now 2 outs. He only needs 1 batter, and then it's walk-off time possibly for Westfield in the bottom of the 7th again.
The 9-hole PJ Fry 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a walk. Still looking for his first hit of the series.
Once again, all due respect, this is
Yes.
exactly what Ty Anderson needs at this point in the at-bat. But if Fry is able to get on base, you go back to the top of the order, which actually
First pitch to Fry popped up. Alm thinks he has it, and it looks like it's going to be out. It is out. So 0-1 count.
he about had a collision with the fence.
He knew what was coming. Safe to say, even with the catcher's mask on, which I don't know why he didn't take that off, but
0-1 count.
I was a catcher in Little League too, and I never took my mask off regardless. I was told to, but I never did. Here's the 0-1, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Anderson deals just high on the off speed, and it is ball 1.
Once again, PJ Fry, this would be the perfect guy to get out, but if you do let him on base, you go back to the top of the order, which really hasn't been great either.
Vanell at the top step. Anderson deals on the 0-1, and that ball, Ian Wilson
What
gets
a
the
play.
ball. Ian Wilson gets the ball and tags the runner running to third, ending the inning.
A scoop and tag from Ian Wilson. I was, talking trash about his fielding, but look at that play. Just an absolute beauty, and it's walk-off time possibly again for Westfield. Bottom of the 7th, you do not want to miss it.
You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. Bottom of the 7th, it's crunch time for Westfield baseball. Down 2-1 in the most crucial part of the game. We have 7, 8, 9 up in the batting order. Ty Anderson, Ian Wilson, and Manbeck of the Eli variety combined for a total of 3 hits tonight.
Wait, hold on. I've seen this story before from Westfield this season. They were down 4-5 against Cathedral going into the bottom of the 7th, and then they had 2 runs, and they came from the bottom of the order. Let's see if they can do it again here and pull off a second straight home walk-off.
Leading off this inning is Ty Anderson.
After pitching a gem, let's see what he can do in his at-bat.
If this game gets sent to extras, he most definitely will not be on the mound. He is well over 100 pitches at this point.
Probably 110 at this point.
First pitch to Ty Anderson. A little low, ball 1.
I probably would have given that to Murphy, but still, like I said, the strike zone, it's tight, and you never know with this umpire. 1-0 count.
1-0 from Murphy. Off speed, checked his swing, and he did not go, so it's 2-0. Great
Yeah.
leave by Ty Anderson.
He did go about a quarter of the way, not all the way, so good call by the umpire for once tonight.
2-0 to Anderson. I don't know
What?
how that was a
What?
strike. That was
That was-
inside. That nearly hit Ty Anderson, but it is 2-1.
That was right by his leg. Terrible call by the umpire. Once again, we need robot umpires. Even count.
2-1 to Anderson from Murphy. Curveball got him on the lower half of the zone, I would have to imagine, and it's 2-2.
That was a nasty pitch, and unfortunately, that missed call by the umpire could be costly.
As Murphy steps off.
Now, assuming Nicholson comes back out for Westfield, or comes in for Westfield, then this is going to be a battle of two great closers.
The 2-2. Anderson swings and misses.
It seemed like right there that Wyatt Elliott thought he had a little bit of contact, so he tagged him just to make sure, but now 1 out, and it's back to Ian Wilson, who is 0 for 2 tonight.
Wilson not having the best night at the plate. He's certainly, I think, started a slump that he had going on in the earlier half of the season or earlier portion of the season. Let's see what he can do tonight. 1 out. First pitch to Wilson as a strike.
Another late call, but do you know what, Evan? Slumps are made to be broken. Let's see what Ian Wilson can do here.
The 0-1 count. Murphy to Wilson. Off-speed drilled down the first base line, and it's fouled.
Drilled but foul. 0-2 count. This is perfect position for Murphy to possibly get 2 outs with Manbeck coming up.
Murphy's payoff pitch to Ian Wilson.
Too
Just
high.
Very high. So high. Above the umpire high. And it's 1-2.
If I'm Murphy, I don't panic in this situation. You're way ahead in the count.
Loopy looking pitch. It looked like a slurve, and it's a 2-2 count.
That had a lot of movement on that pitch for sure. 2-2 count.
Called ball low and outside. It's 2-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Yep, too much movement on that pitch.
Murphy deals. Fastball did not get him low and outside.
That was a questionable call. That's an interesting one, but umpire probably did make the right call. Even count, a lot on the line here. 3-2.
How clutch can Ian Wilson be? Here's Murphy's payoff pitch. Swung on a very inside ball, and Ian Wilson is running, and he is safe.
He made contact on that pitch. Wow, I thought that was a sliding swing and miss, but a man on base with Eli Manbeck.
And if Eli Manbeck can get a hit like he did earlier in his first time around with a bunt,
Drew Law is going to pinch run. No surprise. He's probably one of the best, if not the best, designated runner on this team. Of course, Colin Lindsay is also great with 8 stolen bases on the year.
Although you got to think Drew Law has 2 stolen bases in the last 2 games alone, which no one has that except for, I believe, Manbeck with 2.
If you remember, in the bottom of the 7th, in the Cathedral game, Eli Manbeck had a perfectly set up bunt that put himself in scoring, not quite then, but he had himself in scoring position, and he had the winning run with Gentry hitting him.
1 out, bottom of the 7th. Manbeck swings, and it's strike 1.
He wanted all of that. That was a very fast swing on a high pitch.
Wanted to take that 340 deep to left field, but we remain at the 0-1 count. Law with a rather lengthy leadoff first. Law goes, called ball, and
He made it, I think.
Drew Law is called out at second base.
Really? Did he tag him in the process?
It didn't look like he tagged him. As
Yeah.
Benell is walking out to rightfully
I
challenge
don't
that
blame him.
call.
I don't blame him. I mean, this is very interesting situation. It did not look like he was out.
It looked like his glove, while he jumped, was midair, and he tried to make the tag, and Law slid right under it. But
And nobody was on the bag either.
so they're going to call Law out as there's 2 outs now in the bottom of the 7th. No runners on.
That's going to be something tomorrow morning you're going to reflect on and think, wow, maybe that could have been the difference maker. Still an 0-1 count for Manbeck.
2 down in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 count for Eli Manbeck. As Murphy deals. Swung on, strike 2.
Second swing and miss of the at-bat for Manbeck. And 1 strike away from victory for Brownsburg, unfortunately.
Rocks under their final strike. The 1-2, Murphy deals. Swung on, swinging bunt foul. As the count remains 1-2.
Obviously, Manbeck has a lot of ground to make up, but still, talk about what a choke job it would be for Murphy if he gives up the save here with being 1 strike away.
Umpire taking his sweet time cleaning off the plate.
He's taking his sweet time all night with the calls. 1-2 count.
Clearly doesn't have anywhere to be on a beautiful Friday night like this.
Yeah.
The 1-2 count. Murphy deals to Manbeck. Just a little bit high. Catcher tried to frame it, couldn't get it, and it's 2-2.
And you heard the Brownsburg dugout. They thought that was game right there, but not quite yet.
Murphy deals. This one swung on, softly hit into right field, and it's down.
Just what
Manbeck
Westfield
gets the
needed.
first.
That is actually going to be his second hit of the day, but that is just what Westfield needed with the top of the order coming up now. Colin, Lindsay, and tonight Lindsay is 1 for 2. Let's see what he can do here.
So now you got a runner on Lindsay, who in the last game had a double, which led to an RBI. Can he replicate that type of success? You have Manbeck, who's pretty fast on first. He could probably make it to third or home on a well-hit ball. 2 outs to Lindsay. First ball is a ball.
1-0
In the
count,
dirt.
that was in the dirt. But I don't know about you guys at home, but I'm on the edge of my seat. I cannot sit down. I am standing up for this possibly final at-bat.
As Brownsburg skipper calls time and there's a mound visit.
I think this is definitely necessary for Murphy. Obviously, there is a man on base, but possibly just having him calm down a bit and getting him back into the zone.
We'd like to take this time to reflect on the upcoming schedule for the Rocks. 3 games next week, or actually 4, with the opener being away at Carmel on Monday. Go out and support that game. Must be beautiful that day. And then following is Thursday, Friday, the Fisher series. We are, I believe, away the first game and home the second game. Don't quote me on that.
Drew Taylor will be with you on the second game. I will not be there with you guys.
And then the Saturday will be an away game on Saturday at noon at Newcastle, where we are packed with baseball next week. But for now, it's the 1-0 count from Murphy to Lindsay. Pickoff, not in time. Manbeck stays at first.
Now, this would be absolutely beautiful if Lindsay were to shut up that Brownsburg dugout and just drained a dinger 377. That would be incredible.
1-0 to Lindsay. High off-speed pitch, and it's 2-0.
Finally, a good call by the umpire. 2-0 count, 2 outs.
Waiting for that all night, it seems like. Manbeck with the leadoff, a hefty leadoff on first. Lindsay pops this one up. Infielder's got it, and he drops it.
He
Oh my goodness!
Now Manbeck is in scoring position with Braden Hibbler at bat, and Lindsay is on base.
I don't know how you make that error. That went in and out of his glove.
If Brownsburg blows this lead, he's going to have sleepless nights over that play. My goodness, man. Benell, he's going to have some words with Hibbler.
He's got to ignore the fact that he's 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout.
He's due for a hit. He has too good of an eye to not get a hit in this series.
The Westfield dugout has more energy as
And now another mound visit.
Elliott calls time. Just to talk it out with Murphy.
Now everybody in the Westfield dugout is standing up. You love to see the two dugouts clashing. It's incredible to see. And now
2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
the most important at-bat so far of the game by far.
Hibbler this season has 4 RBIs. He's going to try and make it 5 and 6. First pitch to Hibbler.
That
Up and in. That's ball 1. The lights shining bright on this field on this beautiful Friday night.
Yep, the sun is setting. It's a beautiful night for baseball. 1-0 count.
Murphy. Second looks back to first. Murphy deals inside, ball 2.
Murphy, he's starting to blow it. He is starting to blow this.
I'm sorry we're in such a crucial part of the game, but Austin Riley just hit a 3-0 home run, so congrats, Austin Riley. The 2-0 count from Murphy to Hibbler.
It's never a bad time for him to bring up the Braves.
Absolutely. Murphy deals. That one's right down the middle. Strike 1.
Even count. Murphy, let's see if he can bounce back from the error he had earlier. And he actually was the one who dropped the ball, too.
Two outs here as umpire calls for time. Got a runner in scoring position, 2 runners on.
And Manbeck, great base runner. As I'm going to mention for the 5th time this broadcast, Manbeck had a stolen base in his last game.
2-1 count. Murphy deals. Checked his swing. He said he went. It's 2-2.
Probably the right call there. 2-2 count. He did go, maybe not all the way, but 3/4 of the way. 1 strike away for Brownsburg yet again.
2-2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Brownsburg. Try and get their 4th win on the season. Murphy deals. Outside. Ball 3.
And you can
Loaded count.
hear the Brownsburg dugout. They are not liking that call. That was slightly outside. I thought for a second, especially with how slow the umpire has been with calling pitches, that was going to be game right there. But
as Hibbler steps out. This is every kid's dream right here. 3-2 count. 2 outs. Bottom of the last inning.
and not to mention Gentry, when he had the pinch hit RBI walk-off, that was supposed to be Braden Hibbler. Braden Hibbler got injured, and Gentry was able to come in and be the pinch hitter. So Braden Hibbler, maybe he has a sense of he kind of has to do this for his team. 3-2 count.
Murphy looks, shakes a sign, gets one that he likes.
Murphy looking for his 2nd save of the season.
3-2 count. And he does not go.
Bit of a pump fake there, too, as he pumped his leg and then looked right behind him.
Not sure how legal that is, but it looked like a balk almost. Full count. Murphy looks. Murphy deals. Runners go. And it hits him.
Pitch, and the bases are now loaded with 2 outs, and Matt Drozlik, the RBI machine, is now at bat. Manbeck was trying to steal third, but he didn't need to. He's hit by the pitch.
As Benell slowly walks over to go talk to his shortstop.
And Hibbler, he's not looking too good. Looked like he was walking off in a little bit of pain, which that will happen after you're hit by a pitch. Part of the
Obviously,
game.
he's not going to willingly go out of the game, whether Bennell tells him to or not. He's not wanting to go out. We saw this even on Wednesday versus Cathedral, even when he got plowed by someone, I can't remember who, in a collision at second base. He didn't want to come out of that game.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't have any vision out of his left eye. I don't think it would have been pretty.
Bases loaded for the Rocks. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Matt Drozlik going to try and be a hero here.
This is the guy you want in this situation. 10 RBIs on the season. And tonight, although he is 0 for 3 and was also hit by a pitch, he is definitely the guy you want here. He's due for a hit.
He's just got to be productive. It doesn't matter how you get on base. You just got to get on here.
This crowd just got way louder.
Crowd's on their feet. 2 outs. First dealing to Matt Drozlik. Called strike. That looked very low, but
And
called
not to
strike on a
mention, for
curveball.
probably the 20th time I said it this broadcast, that was late call. Another late call.
0-1 to Matt Drozlik. Bases loaded. Bottom of the 7th. 2 outs.
Murphy will call time.
This is one of those games where you are on the edge of your seat for the whole 7 innings. 0-1. Murphy deals. Matt Drozlik pops it up.
Can
We've
he
seen this
redeem
movie
himself?
before. And it is caught
And that will end the
for
game.
the last out. A 2-1 victory for Brownsburg as they advance to 4-3 on the season. Westfield had their chance in the final inning and could not capitalize.
Now, the guy I really feel bad for Westfield was Ty Anderson. He threw an absolute gem, but did not have the run support.
Just came up short. 2-1 victory for Brownsburg. We will see you guys next week for the Westfield versus Fishers first or second game. I can't remember, but we will see you against Fishers for the final time. Good night.
Good night, Westfield.
From
Yep.
Shamrock Field.